Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast.
Go ahead, Mike. Talk.
So Tanner, where's the sound?
Where you got sound? I don't know. Where
Good job, Tanner, producer. Let's go. Welcome on in, guys, to the Sports Buffoons studios here out of Mexico. Tanner, want to play the intro for the people listening? Because
no, they
we got some people waiting. They did hear
Yeah,
it?
they heard it.
So we didn't hear, but
We
they
didn't
heard
hear it.
Somehow we missed out on the great intro we have.
I'm a
as
man
usual,
of the people. If I were in
that's what
charge of
matters.
that shit, I would do it right.
What matters
You
is
would
the
do
people.
it right.
What matters
I'd do
is the
it the
people
right
got
way.
together.
Everybody else, everybody
I'm a man
right
of
now.
the people, man.
If you're watching in the comments, throw it in the comments. If you want JG to produce one episode of the Buffoons,
Oh, yay.
one episode, put it in the
Oh, yay,
comments.
yay.
Let's span this up.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun.
The music would be a lot better, I would tell you that. Music. I'd play some fucking Snoop Dogg or some shit in here, man.
You know, the great news is
Look
that
at
you
this
know
shit.
we put this
better
show
be
together every week.
better
We
be
put
good.
together ideas and all that kind of stuff, and then you know we come out the gate falling flat, and that's something you don't want to do to kick off your NFL season. Is come running out the gate falling flat right on your face.
It's just on you guys. That's
Um,
all. Not the
what are you
not the
talking- what?
viewers. The viewers are good.
If you no, I'm saying use that as the producer. Got to get us ready, Tanner. Hype us up. Get us prepared.
Come here
Ima-
2 hours earlier. Maybe
Imagine
we would.
Imagine Patrick Mahomes running out to the thunder of a crowd that doesn't exist, and he's running out there and he's wanting to hear the roar of the intro.
Come back 2
but-
hours. Come
Well,
2 hours early.
Let's talk.
I can come back in 2 hours.
Let's talk about your little problem, Tanner.
He's late,
We
but-
got to talk about his problem over here because he's acting like he's never had a white Russian before in his whole life, and he's acting
had-
like it tastes like shit.
Had
Like, what's your
one,
issue
dude.
over there?
I've only had like one.
Do
And
you not like
don't
the White Russian?
Russians, dude. They're just not my
You-
taste.
You bought him his least favorite drink of all time.
Not least, but pretty close.
That should be the next topic, our next buffoon topic. What would you do if somebody bought you your least favorite alcoholic beverage?
Tanner,
Because
can we just redo the intro for us real quick?
Jesus,
Just
Lord.
please, with the sound. With the sound.
I'm going to be honest, if somebody
Let's
did that
go
to me,
now.
I would chug it.
Let's go now. Intro.
Welcome into the Sports Buffoons.
No, that's not what I mean.
Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast.
Yo, let's get it out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world. Welcome on in once again, back again for the second time tonight.
Love you
These
guys.
Sports Buffoons.
What's
Sorry,
up, guys?
calm
What's up,
down.
Clint? Redo it.
Studios again. I'm so glad we got to kick it off the right way with the right sound, with the right music. Needed to hear that in my life, in my soul. Because you know why? Guys, it's NFL week 1. We got a Chiefs game tomorrow night. I mean, we got to keep coming into this thing hot and ready. You're going to suck up that white Russian and you're going to like it. God damn it.
What are we doing?
Guys, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to pick our division winners tonight. We're also going to talk about the Chiefs pregame tonight a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of preview of the game. Also going to talk a little bit. I know I'm getting tired of talking about Chris Jones, but we got to spit on it for a few seconds. As well as a good news for the injury report. We'll hit on that for just a moment. And then to cap it all off, you guys, we got our easy money bet of the week.
It's
returning back to the program. So, JG, you're going to have to kick us off for that when we get to that point.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
I feel privileged to be able to
Penn
do
State
that.
guy? Yeah, I did.
To be able to do that segment again once more this year after I just nailed that fucking college football bet over the weekend.
You just
I
killed
mean,
it.
You did.
Killed it.
I'm fucking privileged to give you guys that segment once again this year.
JG was halftime.
Right back up your
JG's
ass.
like halftime. You know what? Florida State. Florida State is what he put his money on, and he won.
Third quarter, middle of the third quarter.
True that. I was proud of you, man. I saw a picture of you stuffing your face with pizza and just betting your life away on this college football game you've never seen before. And you loved it, man. And I just got done over at the Barstool Sportsbook. So I'll talk about my little parlay here in a little while as well. So here to try to win myself $530.
Suckers parlay.
Yeah, suckers parlay. We'll see about that. We'll see if I walk away with $530 or not. So anyways, guys, so how we feeling overall though before we jump into some obvious NFL topics today?
I feel great, man. You know, like
Fine.
we do.
I'm ready.
We do
Excited.
I did my Wednesday thing, which is, we go to the casino, we prep for the show, make a fuckload of money, and we come out of there happy, man. Just glowing, man. I've never been happier in my
Get
whole
some
fucking
free
life.
drinks along the way.
I'm 46 years old, never been happier in my whole fucking
Yeah.
life, man. Because I take money.
Yeah,
I get money,
you
man.
literally take the money from them every time.
Which is why everybody should listen to the easy money segment later on the show.
Yep, that was right. I got to have a little chat with Alex Golda 610 today for a little while I was at the sports book. So,
how was that?
Not a very nice guy. I enjoyed chatting with him. He was doing his own little podcast. I didn't realize he does one after his 610 radio show, but sitting there in there doing a solo. It was not live. He was pre-recording, I believe, for a different type of podcast for later on.
Gotcha.
But we talked about some fantasy things. We about our fantasy teams, fantasy leagues, and then just kind of our thoughts on the Chris Jones situation for a few seconds. But I told him, I was like, I already listened to everything he had to say today about the Chris Jones thing, so we didn't need to go dive deep into that by any means. But apparently on beginning of October for that Jets game, Tanner, it'll be a big event up there. So the Royals player who's currently injured right now, who is that?
Who's injured?
The Jets fan.
Vinny.
Vinny Pasquantino.
Yes.
Vinny Pasquantino is going to be at turn 2 up there at Hollywood Casino for the Chiefs Jets game.
Oh, that'll be
So
cool.
he's just gonna be hanging out with everybody. So he told me definitely come join for that, and it'd be a lot of fun. It sounds like he'll be up. Alex will be up there as well as Pasquantino. There for that nighttime. It's prime time Jets Chiefs game. So
why in the hell is gold at Hollywood Casino on a Wednesday night? Like, it was fucking dead in there, man.
he was sitting there by himself doing a solo. Okay. Sometimes we go out. We're in the past we've gone out before and done our show outward somewhere.
Okay.
He was doing one literally by himself with a microphone and a laptop in front of him right there in a chair. So that's how I ran into him.
You can definitely do that over there because it was fucking dead in that fucking shithole over there.
Yeah, it worked out, man. It worked out. I'm sipping on a little Jack Daniels and Coke Zero at the moment.
See,
that's
you
my
should have brought that back, man.
current
I
drink
could
of
have done
choice.
that more.
I like it because it's
But
pre-made.
I appreciate you thinking of me, though. So
See, the best.
Swap it out, man. Just give him that.
Now,
I'll take
hang
the
on.
other.
he won't like this.
I'm not gonna want that hot water stuff. I'm not into that stuff. Not interested in that. But what I like about the Jack Daniels Coke Zero stuff is that it's pre-made, and which means I cannot over pour my whiskey. It's
true.
all the same amount in every one of these. So that means like I can't get a heavy hand every once in a while, or more often than not, as I should probably say. That way it keeps me a little level that way. So, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go talk about our divisional breakdowns. And guys, I want to start off. I got my list here in front of me, as a matter of fact. We're going to the AFC first, and I know we always like to keep it like a surprise at the end. We gotta wait till they do the AFC West at the end because we're Chiefs fans. Guys, come on, let's get over it. Let's act like grown adults here and just assume we know what's going to happen. So want to start in the AFC,
AFC,
and then work our way down to the NFC after that. But I want to start off with, in my opinion, the most interesting division in all of football this year, and that is the AFC North. Let's go, baby. AFC North divisional breakdown for a few minutes here. Obviously, we have a young team, in my opinion, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who has Kenny Pickett on the rise. George Pickens is going to be a big-time player, and I think that they're going to hopefully get some resurgence out of Najee Harris for a bit. Defensively, that's a team that I think has a lot of confidence right now. As long as TJ Watt's healthy, that's going to be a solid team. I would say the Cleveland Browns. That's one of those teams as well. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that roster. Like, who couldn't be hating?
The question is, Deshaun, can he be what he was in Houston?
If Deshaun Watson is at least close to what he was in Houston, they're also very much in the mix to be a part of the top of that division. And then you got the other two top dogs, that have been there all along, which is the Cincinnati Bengals and Baltimore Ravens. Both those teams, for different reasons, obviously are at the top of our list probably. But for me, I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, I like the Baltimore Ravens to win this division because I think they're going to come out with something a little more diverse than we've seen before. It's going to be something that's not as easy to game plan for as we've seen in the past. I think that they're understanding that Lamar probably can't be what he has been on the ground forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be sustainable over the long term. And they've put great receivers around him this year. So I love Zay Flowers. I'm hoping OBJ can stay healthy this year. And then obviously the ground game, we're expecting to see Dobbins be a part of the offense all year long. And Gus Edwards. I mean, overall to me, that team to me looks like they have potential to be able to control the clock, as well as we get to see the best of Lamar in the passing game that we've seen so far to this entire point.
Yep.
Because I think in the past we've seen him improve over time, but I think finally this year we get to see Lamar be the best passer he's ever been. And hey, the Bengals have a target on their back, and I think the other teams in this division are so good they're gonna tear him down a little bit.
JG, who do you got?
Yeah, I think we talked about this just a few weeks back, and somebody was asking us the question on the show, like, is this going to be the toughest division to pick, where the teams are all like super close? And my answer on the show, and I'm actually going to stick with that, is that this is not going to be the most interesting division. I feel like there's going to be more separation in this particular division than people are expecting. And I think the Bengals are going to run away with this. I said this like probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm sticking with it. The Bengals are the team that we trust to come out of this division. And I'm going to break down the other 3 teams here. So for the Steelers, we basically know what they are, right? And I agree with you guys. Like, Kenny Pickett probably going to take a step forward, but what are they really? Like, are they 10-7? Great. Okay, let's say they go 10-7. What are the Browns? Well, right now, what you have with the Cleveland Browns is Deshaun Watson in year 1, because he hasn't played a full fucking year on that fucking team and that offense. And so while I do believe in Deshaun Watson, you guys, there's a lot of Deshaun Watson haters out there. I am not one of them. I'm a big Deshaun Watson fan, and a lot of people probably come after me on that point. It's not going to happen this year. Okay. This is his first year, full season in that offense. I just don't believe in them. They're not going to win this fucking division. And in terms of the Ravens, my issue with the Ravens is their health. Okay. I'm sitting there talking to all my fantasy gurus, all the guys in my fantasy circles, and they're asking me about J.K. Dobbins. Well, when the fuck has that guy had a healthy season? Now, all of a sudden, we bring in a guy like OBJ. Well, when's the last time we saw him be in a full season? What about Rashad Bateman? Is that guy injured every once in a while? And I do believe in Zay Flowers. I mean, that guy's going to take the league by storm. I do believe in Mark Andrews, although he's injured now. We don't know what's going on with that. That's an undisclosed injury. Totally believe in Lamar Jackson. But what's really going on there? It's like they have injured bums on that team every fucking. I don't trust the Ravens with injuries. I don't trust Deshaun to perform at an elite level in year 1. Next year is a different story. And the Steelers are what they are. They're probably going to go 10-7, might get a wild card. I don't really care. I think you're going to see the most separation in the AFC North versus all of the other divisions in the AFC. And I know that's a hot take. I know that's a hot take because we're sitting here saying, well, fuck. Well, what are you talking about, JG? Joe Burrow's an injured bum. I'm not so sure about that. Joe Burrow is proven in the last couple of years, and they're throwing it out there like he's going to be just fine early in the season. And so I am still, after 3 to 4 weeks of mulling this thing over, taking the Bengals to run away with this thing.
I just want to say one thing real quick. There's always this thought in the past how, if the first few successful years of Patrick Mahomes that suddenly defenses would figure him out. That was the whole idea going into like the next season after the next season was that, after enough game planning goes on, we're going into year 3 or year 4, the defense are going to figure him out. But the problem with Patrick Mahomes is that he's so provisional, and every year comes in with something unique to offer every single season, whether it's adjusting to cover 2 or whether it's just like taking advantage of the fact that teams are more worried about, playing deep and then hitting them underneath all the time. And just, every single year he puts in work to make sure he's counteracting the things the defenses are looking to come at him with. My question now for the situation with Joe Burrow is that, we've seen him obviously have a lot of success the last 3 years. And is it possible, though, that he's one of those guys that you can game plan enough for to take down?
Wouldn't you see it by now?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm asking. I mean, you could say you see it by now.
I think you would see it, but I think it's similar to what Patrick Mahomes, where it's a guy that studies and tries to break down defenses and does the same thing.
Well, the main thing that here's the thing, the whole cover 2 phenomenon came about there. The last year Tyreek Hill was there
Correct.
as a part of the offense, which was in 2021, right?
Correct.
So Patrick Mahomes had already had 3 years of playing time, 4 years of playing time actually with the Chiefs at that point, and you saw the adjustment have to be made. Now you might say the weapons the Bengals have are probably better in a lot of ways, as far as the T. Higgins and the Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd are sustainable, awesome, great weapons. But the tendencies is what I want to know about. The tendencies of Joe Burrow, can they be picked up on, or will he find a way to counteract what other defenses pick up on him? Because I know in the past we've seen defenses try to do this to Mahomes. Didn't really work. It worked for a moment. There was games here and there.
There was games.
There was games here and there. We saw a difference being made. But over the long term, Mahomes would figure them out in return. Is there a chance at all with a division that's as strong as this one is, in my opinion, one of these teams could figure out a way to start having a lot of success against Joe Burrow?
Give him trouble? Give him trouble, yeah. But
week 1, they got the Browns.
You're not going to stop him.
Week 1, they got the Browns, guys.
And he's never won against the Browns.
I think maybe once. But I
don't think he's won at all.
Last year he won once.
Did he?
But
look.
Well, there's history between the Browns and Bengals.
Correct.
Obviously. And Nick Chubb seems to always put up big numbers. And the Browns always have a great time against the Bengals historically. And week 1, that's going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us a lot. We're going to see.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
Juan Thornhill out there, with his experience as a Chief going against Joe Burrow, coming into play right out the gate. So I want to see if the Browns can have that mentality of how are we going to adjust to the things he does well, Joe Burrow does, an injured Joe Burrow, we might add, and try to take advantage of that. Because I could easily see the Browns coming out hot and ready, getting a W over the Bengals to start off the season.
I think that's a different discussion because the Browns are 4-1 versus the Bengals in the last 5 games. So when you're talking about divisional opponents, it's completely different than the big picture, like the landscape of the AFC. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of how these teams are going to rank at the end of the season in the AFC North, because the Bengals have essentially owned the Chiefs, in the last few years. Yeah. I mean, they didn't win last year, but overall, they've owned the Chiefs. So I think they've got bigger and better fish to fry in terms of this season. And I think it's not that they're looking past their divisional opponents. Yeah, they could lose both teams. They could lose both games against the Browns this year and still only lose 4 games, 5 games. They don't really care about the Browns, even if the Browns torch them in both games. I think the Bengals have bigger fish to fry. They own the Chiefs. I think in their minds, they still own the Chiefs, even though it didn't happen last year. And I think that's the mentality. They're going big picture here. And so if they lose that first game against the Browns, that doesn't mean shit to me. They're going to own that division.
His worst QBR games in the AFC North are versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022, September. We had Baltimore and Cleveland. These were all 69, nice, and below QB ratings. Okay. Everything else he's done, it seems to me, just looking here, based off interceptions, based off yards per throw, averages, touchdowns, the issue isn't the offensive side. It's can his defense stop somebody. His Cleveland Brown days, he had his worst deal with Cleveland with 2 interceptions. He threw 40 passes and, no touchdowns. It was a horrendous day. That was the one time back in 2021. Outside of that, this guy's throwing up 3, 4 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception here and there. But other than that, he's been dominating the Browns. He does the same thing for the rest of the AFC North here. You have Pittsburgh, who gives him the toughest time. Outside of that, I don't think Cleveland's. I think it comes down to, can you get some stops from your defense? Similar to what he was for the AFC title game. Can you get that stop on the defensive side? And they couldn't. It's the same thing that has to go each about. I think Joe's going to do what Joe does. I don't think you can really. I think you can game plan for him. You can cause trouble, but I don't think in the end you're going to stop him with the veteran, the core receivers that he has around. Because you got Boyd and Higgins, you can cut him down below, and Chase, he can grab anything up top, just like at Jefferson. So, it's. I don't know. I don't think you can game plan around Joe Burrow.
Yeah. So what's your pick for the AFC North then, Tanner?
My pick for the AFC North, guys, is also Baltimore Ravens in this here. Yes, Joe Burrow, like Jason said, why not? Why not go with Joe Burrow and everybody else? You can have a dynamic offense all you want. You can't stop a guy. You lost 3 big offensive starters, including Jesse Betts, or defensive guys, including Jesse Betts. You're going with a really young cast of guys on your defensive side, unproven, right? So I'm not going Bengals. Pittsburgh, I think, is still working its way in. I think Browns also compete as well. I think you got a lot of competition for second place here. I think the Ravens ultimately come back because you don't have a contract situation anymore. Money is not involved within Lamar Jackson. He might return back to 2018, 2019, Lamar?
19.
One seed? If he can get anywhere close to that, that'd be nice. If he can stay healthy, again, Jason said it too, the health is a big thing. I'm barring injuries here. We're going Baltimore Ravens to win this division.
All right. Sounds like you two or us two are on the same page. JG's got the Bengals.
I'm going to go, and I'll go
Fair.
Steelers. Steelers are going to come in second.
Okay.
10-7.
All right.
I think Bengals second. So
Fair enough, guys. Next one on my list, I got the AFC South. This one's probably one of the more least interesting of all the divisions, I guess, in the entire league. But when you look at it, I mean, you still got to think about the Houston Texans getting CJ Stroud. That's a team that's a work in progress. They're going to take some time. I'm going to promise you right now, I'd bet everything I have on it that they're not going to win the division. So I'm not even going to break them down by any means. Indianapolis Colts. I mean, Jonathan Taylor obviously is going to miss the first 4 games, potentially more. We don't know what's going to happen yet with him in that situation. He's not very happy, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's got a they got a shitty ass owner over there, and I don't blame him at all for him being upset at the situation they got going on. And then after that, the Tennessee Titans, they obviously grabbed DeAndre Hopkins, which is a nice addition, of course, without a doubt. I mean, he's a guy the Chiefs had interested in at some point, and he ended up taking the money. He was one of those guys that was like, give me the bag. I don't really care where I end up. I don't care if I win. I'll take the money, which, seems like that's kind of the way most guys are at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. That's fine. Go get your money. I don't know that they're going to be the best, though, that there is, because there is one team that's young and still on the rise right now, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the amazing career growth of Trevor Lawrence, which I think we're going to see something extremely similar to the way Peyton Manning grew in the NFL as well, because Peyton Manning's rookie year was pretty rough, guys. I mean, I think he led the league in interceptions. It was not pretty. Year 2 took a huge step up. Going into year 3, suddenly we're going, holy shit, this guy is dominating the league all of a sudden. It took him to year 3.
What a difference a coach makes. Let's make sure we make that.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Of course.
Let's put that in context.
Let's talk about Doug Peterson, of course. I mean, Doug. Whenever the Jaguars hired Doug Peterson, I knew right away that was one of the best coaching moves they could have ever made. In fact, I thought it was stupid as hell when the Eagles fired him in the first place. But yeah, Doug Peterson's an awesome coach, and they got the right kind of coach, right kind of receivers. Obviously, Calvin Ridley is not going to be playing this year. Christian Kirk's still a part of the system, and then Travis Etienne. I mean, I think this is just one of those teams that seems like they've been kind of waiting to really break out. And going into year 3 for Trevor Lawrence, I think we're going to see the true Trevor Lawrence, what he's capable of, especially after we just saw a badass comeback last year in the playoffs. When he was down like 4 touchdowns against the Chargers, came back and won.
What was it? 27-0, didn't allow another touchdown on defense, right?
Right.
To be able to come back and win.
And then Trevor Lawrence gave the Chiefs a hell of a fight as well in the playoffs too. Gave us a scare along the way. And, obviously the Chiefs and Mahomes came back from his injury during that game. And we had an amazing drive by Chad Henne during that game.
Anytime.
So, I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you look at this division, it's easy for me. The best team in this is by far the Jacksonville Jaguars. I see them probably winning 10 or 11 games this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we were talking about the NFC or the AFC North and saying what's the separation going to be there? I think the Jaguars, it's pretty much consensus at this point that they have a really good chance of getting the number 1 overall seed. And I'm not going to say anything against that. They certainly have a chance to do that. And the Texans and the Colts are going to be trashed this year. Like that's the bottom line for me. 2 rookie quarterbacks, and it's just going to be, you're not going to be able to predict what those 2 rookie quarterbacks are going to be able to do from week to week. So those 2 teams, I mean, you're going to have to see some bright spots there, but overall their records are not going to be good. The Titans are what they are. Everybody loves to talk shit on the Titans every fucking year. But every year they have a a good record, and it seems like every year they make the fucking
I think
playoffs.
I think they'll win 9 or 10 games possibly.
They're
If
gonna
they're
make the
Titans.
fucking playoffs.
I mean, yeah, I could see it.
But the thing of it is like it doesn't really matter for me. I mean, there might not be that much separation, but I think that the biggest storyline in this division is the fact that the Jaguars have a really good shot to get that number 1 seed. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for there, because even if they don't, I mean, like Trevor Lawrence is, he's going to be a fucking superstar in this fucking league. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for.
Yeah. What do you think, Tanner?
Like I said, Jags, of course, is the right answer in this. I'm going with the Jags. I think Tennessee makes the scene interesting like they did last year during the season. Now it's just a matter of health, and can they keep Brian Tannehill in the pocket? I mean, honestly, we know what Willis is. We know what Levis. Like, we don't want none of those guys.
I'd love to see Will Levis play this year.
Oh, my God.
See what happens.
This would be so bad. So I honestly think if Tannehill stays in that thing, I think they give the Jacksonville a run for that division. But I think Jags come out top. Like you said, Peterson's there. Different. I mean, that atmosphere, the locker room atmosphere you saw was totally different from Urban Meyer days. Give me Jags.
We're nearing the end of Tannehill's career, in my opinion. We could see Mike Vrabel on the hot seat if they don't start getting a real.
I think you got to wait till after this year. Even on a bad record, you got to wait till after this year.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Will Levis: Trey Lance is actually younger than Will Levis. So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Trey Lance might blow up.
All I'll say is that my feelings and Will Levis have already been stated out there. So I'm going to go ahead and say, in my opinion, that's not going to be a chance on Will Levis.
No.
So therefore, that does not mean anything about Trey Lance. Those two things
both suck.
Those two things have nothing to do with each other. So that's what I'll say about that. But he did change his number to 15. So
he did.
Maybe that's the good luck charm he needed over there with the Cowboys. Next on our list here, we have the AFC East, you guys. Another fun one, of course. Guys, I mean, there's a lot going on here. Kind of similar to the AFC North. A lot of great teams, of course. I mean, the AFC in general is awesome. But this is the year. I've been watching Hard Knocks, guys. I'm getting all my secret details from there. No, the series just ended. The series just ended last night, and I've had a good time watching the. Basically, it's a Aaron Rodgers jerk-off session every single week when it comes to Hard Knocks, and that's how it goes down, which is fine. I mean, I enjoy watching the show. It's an awesome show, but I do think the Jets have a legitimate chance to win this thing. I think the Buffalo Bills are a team that a lot of people are forgetting about in some ways. They're also writing off too early. I've heard a lot of people on the radio talk about how they think the Buffalo Bills, their time is up and, their window's closed and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I can't go that far. I can't sit there and say
that window got closed after 13 seconds.
No, but that's the thing. It didn't. The window's the window's not closed.
That was their window. Look, that season was their one shot to get to the promised land.
For what?
To the promised land.
That was their one chance.
Best defense in the league.
You think from here going forward, because of that, because they missed up on that, they cannot find a way. I think
they're exposed
to get there.
Yeah, I think they're exposed.
I don't know what you mean by exposed. Is Josh Allen not a good quarterback?
He's a good quarterback.
So are they lacking because the defense isn't as good as it once was?
Correct. You lost.
I mean, you not find a way to find a running game outside of Josh Allen? And you got James Cook ready to roll.
We'll have to see what happens, on it. But
you got some options
I
there.
generally feel that was the year Buffalo. If they were going to do anything, that was the year.
You think they're just figured out at this point?
I got them third place, if that makes any sense to you.
You don't think they can adjust?
I got them
over
third
time.
place. No, I don't. I think not McVay. What's his face? Sean. He's gone in 2 years.
All right, Miami Dolphins over there, of course. Talented team. Man, there's a lot of damn playmakers over there, just as there was a year ago. Tyreek Hill, of course, still there. We got Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa. I know you love that name. No, I mean, I think that overall this is going to be a team that's kind of the same as they were a year ago. I don't see a whole lot of changes in what they're doing. To me, it's going to come down to health for everybody involved on that roster.
Are you guys still concerned about Tua's health? Even though he took the jiu-jitsu, he looks better about falling backwards, getting pushed.
I don't give a shit about him and jiu-jitsu right now.
I'm just saying, are you still concerned about his health?
It should be a concern.
I'm not concerned.
Why?
I think he trained his body right this offseason to get prepared.
So then everyone should be doing jiu-jitsu. Let's get him on that fucking path, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to get on. I don't
So,
think
okay,
he gets
let's-
injured. I think he plays every
All of
game
our
this year.
personal trainers and across the league need to have a background in jujitsu.
Well, honestly,
if that's the key to keeping your asses
if-
healthy, then let's get it going.
If you're an athlete, you should be doing some kind of jujitsu, something like that within that matter.
That's fine. All right. And then obviously we have the Patriots, of course, in that division as well. So, guys, I want to have you talk about this for a few minutes because I have my own theory. But
you're not giving your full pick yet, or did you?
No, you guys can go ahead first. I figure we'll probably all have different
Okay.
opinions here.
What do you got, Jason?
You know, I've heard of a lot of hot takes out there to the point where I don't actually think this is a hot take anymore, which is the Bills have peaked, as you guys were talking about. But I've heard multiple people say that the Bills are going to come in last place.
Last place? I didn't
Last
even go that
place
far.
in the division. And the only reason why I'm not going to do that right now, I'm actually going to put the Patriots in second. And then I'm going to put the Dolphins in third. No, I'm going to put the Dolphins. Yeah, I'm going to put the Dolphins last.
Dolphins last.
Yeah. Because like you were just talking about with Tua's health.
But there's jujitsu. He did jujitsu.
He's not going to get injured.
No,
So if you do jujitsu, it fixes everything with your health.
For his health, it does.
For his health,
So-
particularly,
For his specific injuries,
he
it
had an
does.
awakening, and they told him, "You need to do jujitsu.
You can't be
You'll
slamming your-
never get injured
You can't
again."
be slamming your damn head against the field. Is what it is.
Yeah, was he a baby? Just you got like this heavy
Did you
head.
see him last year?
No, I remember the hit.
Did you see him last year multiple times?
Jujitsu's gonna save him
No.
It's already looked better.
from
It's already looked
330-pound
better.
men.
A big
throwing his ass
330
on the
pound
ground.
man pushed his
It's gonna
ass.
keep.
Same
You
as
would have
last
thought
year.
he would have kept his head up in the first place,
No.
right?
No,
With
you
the
would
common,
think,
common sense.
but they're not
How
trained
about I
that way.
don't let
They're
the
not
back of
trained
my
that
head
way.
hit the turf?
They're not trained that way.
Is he stupid?
Yes,
Right.
from Alabama. Let's be real.
Shut the fuck up for a second. So I can't do this to my best friend. My best friend listens to this show and he's a Bills fan, and I can't do it to him.
I'll do it. Third
So-
place, dude.
They are not going to come. The Bills are not going to come in last place. And like they've been cramming, all my life. They've been trying to get me down. What's the name of that song? They've been trying to cram this down my throat. The Bills in last place.
I
Not
get
going to happen.
knocked down, then I get up again.
No.
No, not that song.
Here's your order. Okay. This is the strangest order you will ever hear in your life for this fucking
I'm ready
prediction.
for it. Let's go.
Jets, number 1.
'Kay.
Patriots, number 2.
Okay.
Bills, then Dolphins. Tua is not going to stay healthy.
Unreal.
The Bills have peaked, which we already talked about.
talked
I
about
totally agree with that. Patriots, what's the best thing they do? Run the ball and play defense. That's exactly what the fuck they'll do. I'm not convinced that even, a lot of people are saying, well, fuck, 3 of these teams are going to make the playoffs. I'm not buying it. I can see a world in where only one team makes the playoffs,
Wow.
but the Patriots will have the second best record in the division and not make it. I'm going with the New York Football Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
So, do you give any credit to Bill O'Brien being there as the OC, an actual offensive coordinator, an offensive mind, now as Mac Jones's?
I certainly give him credit, but I hear a lot of people out there try to say that, we're going back to the days of Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, and that's going to be Mike Gesicki and Hunter Henry. Guys, that's not the same personnel. That's not even close to the same personnel. And then I hear reports that Juju Smith-Schuster, his knee is like tick, 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 getting ready to explode. Okay. So at some point, you've got to have weapons. And so, I guess, medium to long term, sure. Yeah, Bill O'Brien's going to help out that offense. It's not going to fucking happen this year. They're not, they're even if they get lucky, dude, and get that number 7 seed, they're not going to fucking win any games. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, if I'm wrong and those other teams stay healthy, like the Patriots aren't going to do shit. But I do give credit to Bill O'Brien. He'll make the offense better. I just don't like the personnel. And so don't get caught up in all this bullshit where they say, oh, it's Gronk and Hernandez all over again. No,
No, it's not.
Not even close.
No.
Get that fucking thing out of your mind. And the receiver core, it's not fucking Wes Welker. You know, it's not fucking Randy Moss. Get that shit out of your fucking mind.
Belichick couldn't land his Wes Welker. Berrios said he went to the Dolphins. So
Now, it sounded like you were almost arguing against the Patriots for a second there because of the way you were kind of demeaning like from obviously the past playmakers they used to have.
I am arguing against them
because you said they're going to finish second, which is still actually great considering you're ahead of in your mind the Bills and the Dolphins.
And I do believe they can finish second in that division and not make the playoffs. I just think I can see a world in where all three of those teams, they just shit the bed all in the same year, and the Jets just run away with it. That a totally unpopular opinion, but I do believe in Aaron Rodgers. I do believe in that fucking Jets defense.
I do too.
And I do believe in the coaching staff. So what, like, honestly, what's not to believe in?
Yeah.
On that team.
I think you got all the hype. You got everything else. I mean, you got a guy that's been an MVP before last year, 2 years in a row it was. And then you got a guy that took these rookie receivers after you lose your best weapon, keep yourself in the playoff hunt in Green Bay with Christian Watson, who was in and out hurt, Romeo Doubs. Like, you kept your team within playoff hunt to almost 3 or 4 weeks before the season ended, which is impressive by itself because that was a honestly horrendous offense. And now you go into an offense with Garrett Wilson. You got your guys, the Lizard came back. You got your familiar as Randall Cobb. Corey Davis retires. Like, you still got weapons on this team. This Jets defense is going to hold guys. They're going to give you opportunities with the ball back when you don't expect it, that you didn't get in Green Bay.
I just feel like
you got Dalvin Cook now to go with Breece Hall.
So many people have talked so much shit on the Jets.
I love it. Dude.
I'm just
every minute of it.
They're gonna fucking win the division.
You're Jets.
They're gonna fucking win the division.
Win this division. You have
so many haters, so many fucking losers out there.
I got the Pats.
Want to see these guys fucking fail?
Yeah,
and it's not gonna happen.
I got the Pats last. I got the Bills third, and the Dolphins second. The Dolphins and Jets make the playoffs.
Yeah, for me, you guys know how I feel about quarterbacks. It's a quarterback-driven league.
Correct.
And so that's how I make most of my decisions when it comes to who's going to win each game, who's going to win each division and conference, and so on. Because that's what's the most logical thing to base your predictions off of is quarterback. You know, who's the best quarterback? So
who's back there?
Clearly, this, in my opinion, is Aaron Rodgers to lose as far as the best quarterback of this division. I think he still absolutely has everything you want in a passer, especially with this receiving group with Garrett Wilson, and he's got all of his buddies from Green Bay, of course, with Lazard and Randall Cobb, and they just got a lot of talented guys over there in that team. And of course, the running game. You got Dalvin Cook over there now with Breece Hall. And then on defense, of course, I love the addition of Will McDonald from Iowa State. Awesome pass rusher. I cannot wait to see everything he's capable of. And Sauce Gardner, of course, in the back end, who's the number one corner in the league right now. I think there's a lot right there to work with defensively. This will be Aaron Rodgers' first top 10 defense since he won the Super Bowl back in 2011. So to me, I mean, I cannot wait to see what they're capable of in all facets of the game, because I easily could see them challenging teams like, the Chiefs or Bengals or Ravens in the AFC Championship game when it comes down to it, as long as everyone's healthy. So, yeah, for me, from top down, it is Aaron Rodgers, and then from there, like I said, best quarterback going forward on the list, and you guys can figure that out on your own. So, after that, we got the AFC West. So, I mean, I don't know how much we want to talk about this for a few minutes. We're going to talk about Chiefs Lions here just in a few, but to me, it's a easy one. It's been an easy one for a long time, and there's no reason to think otherwise until we are proven wrong. We don't need to sit there and overthink the Chargers like some people do. We don't need to talk about how Sean Payton's going to suddenly make the Broncos a 13-win team or some other bull crap. And obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo, despite his win-loss record, sorry, now you're a Raider. When you're a Raider, you're a loser. And so you can welcome to the losing team. And to that whole win-loss record he had in the past, that's about to diminish quickly there as a Las Vegas Raider.
I mean, hell, Raiders just might have lost their veteran presence on defense with Chandler Jones.
Yeah, he's
like, no,
he didn't know
I'm good.
Nothing to do with it.
He's like, I'm past.
Well, first of all, that's a Josh McDaniels issue. I mean, he's a shithead head coach, always has been, and that's another Raiders thing to do, to hire a dumbass like him in the first place. I mean, if Todd Haley's coming up to you, waving his finger in front of your face and telling you that you're a shithead, If Todd Haley's the one telling you you're a shithead, you're probably a big douchebag.
You probably are.
So, anyways, guys, if you guys have anything to say about it, we can.
Just stop
we're gonna-
kissing the
we're-
damn babies, Mike.
We're gonna
Stop kissing the damn babies.
break down the Chiefs Lions here in a few, but now you guys can discuss if there's any possible challenge here to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get injured. Tom Brady's, who is part owner of the
Not
team, is going to
coming
come
back.
out of retirement and play for the Raiders, and they're not going to do shit. This is the easiest division to predict. We all know exactly what's going to happen. Like, you could probably flip number 2 and number 3, but we all know, everybody in the world fucking knows the Chiefs will be first, the Raiders will be last. So the question becomes, how do you want to slot in number 2 and number 3? And for me, the Chargers, yeah, on paper, they have the talent. They should be number 2 in the division. But for number 3, you have Sean Payton. I'm not going to question the fact that he's a better coach than Brandon Staley. So why would we not put Denver as the second best team in the division? We all know that Brandon Staley probably going to get his ass fired at the end of the year for fucking everything up. That's not going to surprise me, dude. And so then the other biggest question is, can Sean Payton resurrect Russet Potato's career? I think he probably can win games. He's not going to resurrect the game of Russet Potato's career, but he is going to win some fucking games. And so, I don't really care. Do we really care who comes in second and third in that division?
I think we can just
We
put
know-
we can all put it what it
I mean,
is. It's Raiders,
Chiefs
Broncos,
number 1.
Chargers, KC. The only team in this
Yeah.
division that has a chance to do anything is going to be the Chargers, as it is every year.
And honestly, like,
That's it.
does Sean Payton really care if Russell Wilson shits the bed? It's not going
Stop
to
kissing
jeopardize.
the babies.
It's not going to. Hey,
Stop
honestly,
kissing babies.
that's not going to jeopardize Sean Payton's job. Does he
Nah.
really give a fuck? No,
Yeah.
We've got some great quarterback classes coming up in
He's
the
going to
next
give you an
couple years.
opportunity. Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. So, with all due respect to, all these fuckers, I'll take the Chargers to come in second, but I mean, Brandon Staley's still going to probably fucking lose his
Should
fucking
still
job.
lose the show.
But
mean,
I
look,
do.
The
But
Chargers
it's all
fired
about-
Marty Ball after a playoff loss, 15.
Well,
and
I'll tell you what,
seven.
owner of
I tell you,
the
dude, the
Still a dumb
most
shit.
the most interesting thing to watch in this division is Justin Herbert.
Yes.
What is
I like
Justin
Justin
Herbert going to do?
They didn't have weapons too. I mean, you got to look at the TCU
Yeah.
wide receiver they got.
Quentin
so
Johnston.
We all know that
add him to
Brandon,
the mix.
the coach, fucking sucks. But what's Justin Herbert going to do?
What's-
That's the only interesting thing.
I think it's more of what does Kellen Moore bring in for Justin Herbert to bring in his
Yes.
offense. That's what
Kellen Moore. It's all about Kellen Moore.
he needs to
Fuck
see what
Brandon
happens.
Staley. He's going to get his ass fired. Nobody gives a fuck.
There's
know?
the rumors out there. Alan Perales, who's a big Cowboys guy who loves talk sports, says that Staley gets fired the week before they play Dallas. So you got Kellen Moore versus Dallas.
Fired.
Wouldn't that be fun?
We
That'd
love
be
to fire
interesting.
people on the show. I'm not going to do it, but
All right. Well, we're not going to talk about it later. So, do we have a quick Chiefs win-loss record to throw out there?
Ooh, I like that. Let's see here. What's the over under, guys? 11, I think it was.
Yeah, I think they put it at 11.5 or something like that, which is crazy low
It is.
considering every
we've done
year
every year.
Mahomes is here. I mean, they win 12 games minimum.
Team future.
I'll
So-
take it, man. I'm going to go 12-5 because
Well, still
You
the
know-
over, by the way.
12-5 because if you're a Super Bowl champion, if you're a dynasty, do we really
Yeah.
give a
11
fuck?
and a half.
Do we give a fuck about regular season record? No, we do
Ooh.
not.
The
So
Chiefs- the
I'm
Chiefs
going to
do.
go 12-5.
I mean, like, first of all, Patrick Mahomes has never had a road playoff game. We've always gone through Arrowhead, and we like it that way. So we care about the record in the regular season because we still want to continue that streak of having home field advantage throughout.
You can still host the AFC Championship.
I think
if-
sometimes when you talk about the regular season, you think too much in NBA terms.
no,
where like
no, no.
NFL's
I'm
not,
not.
that way, man. We
So-
care about every single
No.
win on the schedule.
So
No,
8,
you
9.
can still have the second best record, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars get their ass kicked.
I know. And that's how the Chiefs
You
have,
can
it's
still
happened.
host.
yes,
You
absolutely. I
can
know.
still host.
That's how we've done it in the past. It's happened that way before.
Yes.
I'm just saying it like they care about every single game. They want to win every single game.
Correct.
Like
They do.
that's all I want to say to your point about like how if we really give a shit about.
I get it, but we
regular
got
season
we got a lot of fucking drama right now with Chris Jones.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of fucking drama right now with, is Kelsey going to play a full season? So I'm just saying, if we go 12-5, I'm not going to feel too bad about it. With all the fucking drama that's going on right now.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
BetMGM has the over at 12.5.
So BetMGM
MGM has
They-
over 12.5.
They bet on their own line.
Yeah.
What do you mean they bet on their own line?
It says over 12.5, under 11.5. It's what Betting Pros has in.
It doesn't make any sense.
No. I think it went down to
Um,
11.5 again. So
I think 11.5 is the line.
11.5 is the line.
So what's your win loss, Tanner?
My win loss. So your 11.5 started line. I'm gonna go 11 wins.
11?
Yeah.
Holy
you.
moly! You're
Eight-
taking
eight-
the under.
AFC's tough this year.
You're
It's
not
been
a
tough the last 3
you're
years,
not a
Tanner.
legitimate-
I'm going 11.
It's nothing new, man.
It is new.
Fake Chiefs fan, right?
Fake
there.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm
11.
gonna go with JG. He and I are gonna agree on this. So I'm gonna take at least 12. So I like 12 wins. Could be 13. But I think that it's possibly because Chris Jones could miss a couple games going forward, even more. So far in training camp, injuries have been a problem.
Yeah.
Guys have been beat up. Luckily, right now we have a pretty clean bill of health going into this game in week 1 with the Lions. So I'm looking forward to talk about that here in a minute. But to me, as long as everything goes as we look at it right now, I see at least 12 wins, which I'm going to love some of the challenges that along the way, because whenever you lose 5 games and you're Patrick Mahomes, it bothers you.
Mhm.
I mean, it might not bother us as a fan base. It might not, what you might think like, oh, it doesn't really matter about wins, loss in the regular season. Every single loss we take along the way, it bothers guys like Kelsey and Mahomes. They really give a shit.
It's
About every single game.
It's more the way they lost.
And they
is what it is.
take a lot from the losses. They take way more from the losses than they do the wins. And so I'm going to love watching some of the adversity along the way, because I have a sense that this season is going to have a lot of adversity. It's going to have a lot of things of overcoming different situations and different problems. And I just have a sense that that's how the season is going to unfold. And I cannot wait to see how Patrick Mahomes finds ways to overcome it all. And just give the NFL a big middle finger, because he's that freaking goddamn good. So anyways, so we got 12, you got 11. Debbie Downer over here.
One
let's-
loss. Calm down.
Hater.
That's a
fucking
bitch
hater,
move.
right
Tanner.
there,
Hey,
man.
you know
That's a bitch move.
He's a
Hold
hater.
on. You want to put
Bitch
this
move.
in here? Hold on. Let me put this in here.
Shitty ass fan.
You know what your problem is, Tanner?
12.
You spend too much time looking at the odds
I look too much.
and
time
not
looking at the
enough
odds.
time looking at the fucking players and
Yeah,
their
definitely.
attitudes.
Who's our
and,
even quarterback?
and what
this
the
year?
fuck they bring to the
I don't
table.
even know who our quarterback is this year.
What are you talking about?
What
Don't worry
what
about
we
the
doing?
fucking odds, Tanner.
All right, guys, we got to jump to the NFC. Let's spend a little less time on this one though. So let's jump over to the NFC North.
Like seriously,
No.
you think we're gonna spend more time on the shitball NFC?
I'd rather not. I'd
I
rather
bet you would.
let's cut to the chase of the NFC so we can talk about the preview.
Tanner loves the NFC. don't you,
Chiefs
Tanner?
Chiefs
That's
Lions
my
preview
favorite.
here in a few minutes. So I know, guys, this is going to be like a 2-hour show. So if you stick around, thank you so much. But we're going to keep it rolling. So NFC North, real quick, guys. I'm excited about this division. Actually, it's going to be fun to see the changes over time. A lot of people have a lot of high hopes for the Bears. Some of it, I think, is false hopes. The Packers, on the other hand, it depends on how you feel about Jordan Love and how they're going to turn out in that regard. And the Lions, of course, had an awesome finish to the regular season last year. And then, of course, you get the Vikings, who are just kind of always the Vikings the last few years. It seems like they tend to do a good job of doing just good enough. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Chiefs with Alex Smith along the way. I've always kind of felt like Kirk Cousins was similar to Alex Smith in a lot of ways, as far as he's one of those guys that's just good enough to get you there, but not good enough to win you a goddamn thing. But with that said, I still like the Vikings this year over anybody else in that division, because I'm not impressed with the division still. I'm also not sold on Justin Fields to just be able to go out there and make all the right decisions and not turn the ball over. And Jordan Love, I think I've seen enough of him personally to where I don't see him working out with that team. And I think that team is going to need an overhaul, actually, as a matter of fact, coming up pretty soon. The Packers need to check themselves and realize we don't have Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers anymore. We are now in a situation like, wow, what do you know? Most other teams come across where they don't have a franchise quarterback. They just be plugged in right away and you're good another 10 years. It doesn't work that way. So anyways, I got the Vikings.
Yeah, so I've been back and forth on this because Minnesota has so much, experience. Kirk Cousins has been there for so long, and it's just like we kind of know what to expect from them. They're going to make it to the playoffs and not do shit in the playoffs. But I'm gonna flip the switch here in this fucking division, and I know like this is, everybody's got Detroit right now as the betting favorite. They haven't won that fucking division. What? Give me a number, Tanner. Has it been 20 years, 30 years?
Somewhere in that range.
It's probably since I think it was somebody said 1993. Was Barry Sanders still on the team at that point?
Oh yeah, he was still fairly early in his career. Well, middle of his career there.
It's one of those things like when you're playing roulette.
They last won their division in 1993.
Scott Mitchell was the quarterback of that team with Barry Sanders running.
So it's kind of like one of those things when you're playing roulette and red hasn't shown up in like 30 fucking spins. Detroit hasn't won that fucking division in 30 fucking years. And I'm just like, I'm kind of feeling like this is the year, not because they're the favorite, but because they've got, a little bit of stability there. I do believe in their head coach. I feel like Jared Goff's been there long enough. Yeah, he's gotten plenty of people hating on him. Jahmyr Gibbs is in there at running back.
Montgomery too.
And I feel like that culture is going to flip the switch this year. And I do believe they're going to win the division. Minnesota, I just feel like, man, oh man, like Kirk Cousins, like I feel like he's been in the league since RG3.
Well, yes,
he has been.
They were drafting the same class.
Same fucking class. I mean, like, at what point, dude, did you just hang it up? And so I do believe in Detroit.
What are you talking about?
Hang it up?
What do you mean Cousins hanging it up? Like he's been playing bad?
He's reached his ceiling.
Like
man.
what's the ceiling?
No,
Kirk Cousins.
He has reached his ceiling, but it doesn't mean you give up.
4,000 yards.
So everybody,
he has reached his ceiling.
No, yeah, this is what he is.
Doesn't mean you need to retire.
This is what he is, though. We know what he is.
He doesn't need to hang it up, but like I'm just saying, like when you compare those two quarterbacks, okay. So Jared Goff, same quarterback class as Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody loves to talk about shit. Everyone wants to talk about shit on Dak Prescott. Jared Goff is the same fucking quarterback class, right? And everybody talks shit on him when he was on the Rams. Like, dude, this is his time to take a step forward. And I think they are going to win the division this year. They're not going to win the fucking Super Bowl, right? But Minnesota is just like, they're so fucking boring, man. Nobody fucking wants to see them win. Like what did they do?
Boring.
No, because like 2 years ago, they lost all the fucking less than a field goal games. And then last year they won all the fucking less than a field goal game. Like nobody gives a fuck. Like we want to see the next big thing.
Justin Jefferson?
And that fucking division. No, it's all about Detroit, man. Detroit's going to win that fucking division. Dan Campbell is going to.
I don't hate it. I think it's fair. Well,
Dan Campbell is a good fucking coach.
On paper, I don't hate what you're saying.
Dan Campbell's a good fucking coach, man.
I think so.
He's playing for his job, man. Like he's
Dan
like
Campbell. Dan Campbell's one of my favorite people.
It's a boring fucking like. Honestly, does anybody really give a shit?
Is it because you just want the guy to be like you want the excitement of watching the team? Like you want the guy out here like yelling, someone and break your kneecap.
So here's what I want to see. I want to see Jared Goff do well after he made it to a Super Bowl and then did do
like
shit
a fantasy football relationship deal from way back.
It's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's what it is.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Remember, he had Goff for so long too. 2 years.
Oh yeah, it was Goff.
He would have crushed for Goff.
Oh, and who else was it?
I did not have a crush
Jimmy Graham.
for Goff, dude. No, I didn't.
That was Bobby.
That was Bobby.
But I was just like,
you had a crush on Goff.
At some point where people like to talk shit on you, like Jared Goff is going to have a great fucking year this year. So that's all I'm trying to say. Nobody gives a fuck about Chicago.
Well, no, hold on. Actually, a lot of people do. As a matter of fact, they're right now the hot name to talk about stealing this division because Justin Fields' progression as a quarterback has improved from year 1 to year 2. And then you added DJ Moore on top of it, and the defense is getting better.
And you know what?
I mean,
the line looks better.
You know what? Come on. Justin Fields is going to have a great career. He's going to have an amazing career. Not going to happen right now, man. Yeah. It's too early. Jared Goff has been in the league since what? 2016? Came out 1 year before Patrick Mahomes. Same thing with Dak Prescott. It's time for that fucking draft class of quarterbacks to fucking materialize. Not going to happen for Dak. That's a different story. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it is going to happen for Jared Goff because the motherfucker's made it to a Super Bowl. Like, it's his time. And I think he's got all those years under his belt. He's going to take a step forward this year.
All right. I don't hate the pick. So I got Vikings. You got Lions. What do you got, Tanner?
Well, guys, I'm not trying to go away from my picks on Let's Talk Sports Show when I was doing this here. So I'm sticking with what I got here. By the way, Minnesota, Kirk Cousins playing for a contract next year with some other team because they did not renew his guaranteed contract this year. Green Bay is going to finish out in the dumps with the Colts and the Raiders this year. I think Jordan Love is horrendous, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think you come down between, by the way, I love Vikings defense too. Detroit and the Bears. Detroit and the Bears, right? You just named a bunch about Detroit. Great weapons, great coach. Love the energy. I think the Bears kind of the same thing going on this year. You're buying into a team. Fields is having some kind of extra protection next to him. Now, if they can allow him to throw the ball like they did last year towards the end of the season, give him the 18, give him the 20, give him the 26 attempts that we want to see out there. I got the Chicago Bears winning this freaking division, guys.
By the way, after I just talked so much shit on the Packers and Bears, I do have the Packers coming in third.
I got the Packers.
It's a better quarterback.
Three wins.
It's a better quarterback coach combination.
Three wins.
I got the Bears.
And Nick Bodkins is crying in his
Bears
box.
are coming in
It's
last.
going to be a rough
baby.
year for Mr. Bodkins.
The Bears are coming in last. I believe in Jordan Love. He's going to do.
All right, let's talk about the least interesting division in the whole goddamn league. Let's talk about the NFC South.
Suck.
Real quick.
NFC sucks.
The NFC South suck.
Hang on.
Where are you going, Tanner?
I was going to grab something from the toilet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go to the toilet bowl. That's where all these teams deserve to be at. So yeah, obviously you guys, it's a lot of mixed bag in this whole thing. We got the Panthers and Falcons. Panthers obviously gonna be starting off with their rookie quarterback, and I feel like they've really given him a disservice in a lot of ways. When you take a guy number 1 overall, and then you trade away his top weapon in the meantime of DJ Moore, I think you're really making it difficult on the guy to have a successful start in his career. And your organization itself has not been, really since Cam Newton, not been worth a shit, and it's not done good at developing. So it's been frustrating for a lot of Panthers.
Isn't it kind of interesting too? Like last year they had Matt Corral, within the team, and then they decided to cut him as well. It's like, what are you like? You're really getting rid of the whole regime there, almost.
Yeah, I just I don't know. There's a lot of good direction there, and within that organization, I think that's going to be a struggle for them without a doubt. And then of course you have the Atlanta Falcons, who they're trying to do a little bit better than last year, which we'll see. I mean, Desmond Ridder is going to get a shot. I want to see some improvement along the way from guys like Drake London. I want to see the defense step up a little bit more on the back end.
Does Kyle Pitts come alive? Does he come back to his rookie year?
I've actually heard a lot of bad news about him.
I have too.
So
I think John Smith's your guy.
I don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Pitts. That might be the weirdest tight end career ever. To start off like so strong.
But do we really blame Kyle Pitts, right? I mean, he had Marcus Mariota for God's sake last year, and then you lose Matt Ryan after your rookie year. I
don't know, man. I mean, Tony Gonzalez, I know we're talking about a GOAT, but he made it work with guys like Tyler Thigpen and
I think
Damon Heward.
I think it's just time for a new scenery.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. But he ends up being a wasted pick for the Falcons.
Yep.
And of course, my favorite team is the New Orleans Saints in that division. I think without a doubt, I mean, I love the fact Derek Carr gets a change of scenery for the first time in his career, playing in a dome, as well as a division that's full of warm weather cities along the way. So when he's going down to Tampa or Carolina for that matter, then, he's still going to be in a dome, or it's not in a dome, but in decent weather along the way.
Correct.
Don't have to worry about the cold, rain, sleet, and snow, which is something he can't handle. I think it's going to fit what he does well perfectly. And I think that the offensive weapons they have there is ideal. And I drafted him, guys. I can say it now. Kendre Miller, I think it looks like an awesome prospect at running back, as long as he's healthy. Right now he's questionable, but for this week 1 game, but I think he's going to be really, really big part of this offense down the stretch, especially as they slowly fade away from Alvin Kamara along the way. So as he slowly phased out of the offense, they're going to see a lot more Kendre Miller along the way. But I just think you're going to see Derek Carr play some of the most efficient ball he's ever played in his career. and you're going to see the real true, dome quarterback he is. He would be the Arena League MVP, Tanner, if you had to put it that way. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plans out. I'm kind of rooting for him a little bit, mainly because it's going to make the Raiders look like even more of dumbasses.
So bad.
Whenever they went ahead and got Jimmy Garoppolo to replace him. Not that Jimmy Garoppolo has ever proven he can play in cold weather either, guys. So I'm looking forward to that matchup on Christmas morning. I'll probably be at that game at Arrowhead Stadium. So, guys, what are your NFC South predictions?
NFC South, guys, I really hate to do this, but I have to do it at least once per year because we always have the one division that is so incredibly shitty that there's only one way that you can make this discussion, and that's by quarterback. So I don't really care. It's not just me. Nobody cares about these fucking teams. We only care about the quarterback rankings in this league. Okay. So this is how this division is going to pan out. Derek Carr, number 1, right? So the Saints are going to be first place. I'll go Bryce Young. I'm going to go Bryce Young.
I got Carolina second too.
Second.
I got Carolina second.
Because we already know what Baker Mayfield is. He's just kind of okay, but he's not good. I'll put them in third. And then Desmond Ridder, he could be shitty. We don't really know what he is, but he could be a complete shitball.
I like that.
So I'm going to go with Atlanta number 4. I'm unapologetic because this fucking division sucks. Like, don't waste your time trying to break down offense and defense and all that bullshit. Just look at the quarterbacks, and you're going to know what the fuck's going to happen in this shit.
I'll take Baker with those weapons over what Bryce Young has to work with.
Okay.
And that's why they're my number 2.
That's great. Nobody's going to watch any of those fucking games, by the way.
I will.
I'm happy that
I will watch.
I'm happy you disagree with me.
I'll watch every game I can. But
yeah,
it doesn't mean I'm going to like it.
If we're going to talk Bucks here, I just say Todd Bowles, and that's all I have to say there. So, again, Saints is the right answer here.
Yeah.
That's first place. And I brought this up in the Let's Talk Sports when we broke down this division. I like to break it up with you guys too, the schedule real quick. Through September, he goes to the Packers. Guess what? September 24th. Still warm weather. Win there, right? Then you go in November. Your next closest cold game is the Vikings. And you're in a dome.
Yeah.
Win. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the only
He's got
two
his
opportunities.
whole entire season in a dome.
In a dome
nice
or
weather.
in nice weather. The Colts in October is in a dome.
Oh, sure, it's in a dome.
This is how perfect this Derek Carr matchup thing is right now.
He should look great.
Michael Thomas should be resurgent. You should see Chris
Now,
Olave.
I want to see Michael Thomas make a comeback.
I think you will.
And you guys know I'm a Chris Olave fan.
I love.
I mean, I made a big old, big deal about him last year in the draft, and then had a great season with New Orleans. I think he's going to fit in awesome with the Saints, and I'm just looking forward. And Taysom Hill, by the way, is now officially just a tight end.
He is.
We're done with the gimmicky bullshit that we've been doing for the last few years. Thank God we can get that over with and move along because now he's just a tight end, and Derek Carr can be just a quarterback.
That's actually not true.
Or Lads has Taysom Hill as the third string quarterback.
No, he is not.
Third string quarterback, yeah.
And
he's the emergency quarterback.
They have Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, and Jimmy Graham as your 1, 2, and 3.
Taysom Hill, for the record, is done at tight end. He is not listed as a tight end.
He is not listed as a tight end.
All right, whatever.
So, but you're not going to see him on the damn field. Is what it is. That's the point.
He sucks.
Look,
by the way,
the Saints are the best.
He might be in goal line packages. Goal line packages could be a thing.
You can still do that. Yeah, I can.
There's a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plain and simple, the Saints have the best team in this division, and it's not even close.
We're not playing quarterback carousel anymore with the Saints. It's all figured out at this point.
This is Carr and this Carr.
So isn't it weird how us sitting here as Chiefs fans are now like kind of excited about seeing what Derek Carr can do with the Saints?
It is weird.
Isn't that strange? A little bit.
I was excited at what he could do with the Raiders because they were never a threat. Well, he still put up good numbers, but we didn't give a shit.
Well, you got to remember Derek Carr's rookie year. I think that was right before Andy Reid.
It was 2013, so it was when Andy Reid got to town. He went in the second round. Remember, we took Eric Fisher and Geno Smith also in that same draft.
But I think we all kind of observed Derek Carr as his rookie year, though, because he played really well. We were like, hey, didn't mind this guy.
During that draft class, I remember thinking to myself, if we take a quarterback here early, because at the time that's what I wanted. I wanted to take Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Derek Carr was my next favorite option that I would have been really happy about taking that for the Chiefs. Which who knows? Andy Reid with Derek Carr, things could have worked out better. Who knows?
Have some consistency in his life.
I mean, it could have helped quite a bit. Absolutely, could have helped quite a bit with his career. But things unfolded the way they did. So I think we're going to finally get to see the best of what Derek Carr has to offer, and I'm looking forward to that. As long as he quits wearing the eyeliner all the time, that's getting old. So no more music videos either.
Yeah.
All that weird stuff needs to stop. So, anyways, guys. So next on our list, we have 2 more divisions to break down real quick. We have the NFC East come up next for us. This one to me is
It's a little tougher.
It's tough, without a doubt. I think I want to say this real quick. Just get it out of the way because I know how you feel. But I think the Giants and Danny Dimes are complete ass.
Yes.
Complete. Well, I mean, yes, you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Danny Dimes.
I always took you to be a Danny Dimes fan.
No.
See, you always struck me as a guy that would say Danny Dimes for MVP.
No.
Give me Danny Dimes for MVP.
I laughed my ass off when they signed him to that deal.
Oh, what?
And they played around with Barkley. Instead of giving Barkley money, they gave Jones money, and I was like,
yeah.
What are we doing? He's not your guy.
All I want to say about that team is that what we saw last year and those wins we saw last year, that is the flukiest goddamn team I've ever seen in my life. And that quarterback is,
if it wasn't for the damn defense,
he's a thief. He might as well be Chiefsaholic Robin Banks out here because he robbed the goddamn Giants by somehow selling him on this season where he had like, what was it, 16 touchdowns and 9 picks or some crap like that. It's just awful.
The defense saved him, is what it was.
Sure, I mean that's fine.
That's it.
You got to know how to evaluate talent, and that's not there with him. But I'm excited to see how the Washington football team does. Coming up. I know I'm rooting for Eric Bieniemy to have success there in Washington. I think what we saw in the preseason was a lot to take in and be excited about. We saw some good things with going on there.
I like how.
And Sam Howell, I thought looked pretty decent. But there's some things to work with there without a doubt in Washington. There's good defense there. There's some playmakers there along the way in offense. So
I think honestly with Washington though, I think that the answer is Ron Rivera. It's time to let you go.
Well,
there's a little bit of toughness issue coming into play. Ron Rivera, it's time to let you go.
Probably. But really it's down to 2 for me, without a doubt. I mean, without a doubt, it's the Eagles and Cowboys. And this is gonna be a fight, you guys. I mean, I really think if the Cowboys are going to get something done, it's going to be probably this year because I love the edge rushers. I mean, you got Micah Parsons right now coming off the edge.
Contract year. Contract
Well,
year.
I mean, he's going to get paid next year.
He's going to get paid
big time. We just saw the big deal with Nick Bosa, obviously, getting $170 million on a 5-year deal. And Parsons saw that and was going, I'm going to top that next year. I'm going to be getting, 190, at least somewhere around that range. But yeah, no, I think the Cowboys right now are the ones to beat, in my opinion. And I'm saying that knowing the Eagles had an amazing run last year. The Eagles are a great team with lots of talent. I think defensively they're getting a little old. That's what I'm most worried about with the Eagles is that they're getting a little old defensively, especially on that D line. I think they're just one of those teams that they did an amazing job last year peaking when they needed to peak. And I believe in Jalen Hurts too. And I believe in AJ Brown. I believe in what they got going on. Same time, I really look at this Cowboys roster right now and say, this is the right pieces for what they need to have happen because you cut the dead weight of Zeke Elliott and you cut off the things that were holding you back from having success on that roster. And I now see your defense as being, top 15. I think your offense can be top 10. That's the mesh right there you need to win your division, win the NFC potentially. So for me, I'm going Cowboys over the Eagles in the NFC East.
Wow, you've got them winning the division.
Oh yeah, what you got?
Unbelievable.
I know this might be a crazy one. I don't know.
It to me, and I hate to say this because I can't stand it. Drives me fucking crazy having to talk about the Cowboys. Like literally, like you have to.
It's annoying. I know.
You have to hold a gun to my head to want to talk about these guys. This is the most interesting division that I can talk about because Philly, I feel like they have a lot to prove. They should have a chip on their shoulder. And I do believe they will. And in fact, I do believe they're going to win this division this year. But when you go to 2, 3, and 4, I mean, you already talked about Washington, Sam Howell, Nobody knows what the fuck that guy is. We all believe in, as Chiefs fans, we do believe in Eric Bieniemy. He's going to figure this thing out. Probably not in year one.
Yeah.
They're probably going to come in last place. But to me, it's a question of who's going to come in second and third. And I believe in Brian Daboll more than I believe in Mike McCarthy. Dallas is a fucking circus show, man. They like, it's just like, what are we going to talk about today? There's so much fucking clown show coming out of that organization that I feel like there's not enough leaders that have control over there. Like, I'm tempted to put them last. I really want to put them coming in last place, but I'm not going to do it because, I can put them ahead of Washington. But there's no, I don't like, tell me the God honest truth. Like, we all understand that Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Was that like, how old was I? I'm 46. Was I like 35 years old? That was a fucking 12 years ago when that guy won a fucking Super Bowl. I believe in Brian Daboll more than I believe in Mike McCarthy. And so I do have the Giants coming in second in this division. I have Philly coming in first.
13
They have
years.
everything to prove, and they should. And then I just like, I'm not down with Dallas this year, man. You got all these fucking blind fucking fans. They all think that Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl every fucking year.
Well, yeah, it's Dallas.
And it's not going to happen, man. Like, I like the weapons, right? Don't get me wrong. I love the weapons. I hate the leadership. The leadership in that organization sucks ass. And that's why I won't be surprised if they come in dead last in that fucking division. Probably won't happen. It'd probably be Washington, but give me Philly and the Giants, number 1 and number 2.
See, I got the Giants last place.
I got Giants last.
I think Washington makes a good feat at it going into the season, but it's between the Cowboys and Eagles. But it comes down to one guy, and that's the guy that'll be calling the plays this year, Mike McCarthy. We saw him exactly what he was in 2012 and 2013 when it was just McCarthy calling the plays. Rodgers wasn't that happy. The Atkins are going to be happy. This is not going to be a good thing for Dallas. Eagles definitely take this division by a couple of games here. Just for that fact, like you said, leadership, there's your leadership. Kellen Moore's gone. He's not handing the reins over. McCarthy's calling plays. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, fair enough, you guys. I totally get it. And the last one on the list here, we got the NFC West. Probably don't spend a lot of time on this one, but obviously we got hold on, we got the team trying to get the number 1 overall pick, the Cardinals here. They're gonna do their best to lose as many games as possible, and then probably still not get Caleb Williams anyway. So we'll see how that plays out. Then of course we have the fuck them picks, St. Louis Rams, LA Rams over there. And I don't know what's going to go on with that team at this point. I mean, at this point, I feel bad for Stafford, the way his career is going to end, but hey, at least you got a W and you got a Super Bowl along the way here towards the end. I'm looking forward to seeing how the progression of Geno Smith goes with the Seahawks, and as well as the fact they added up a lot of talent. I mean, I love the addition of Jackson Smith and Jigba, just adding more and more weapons to that offense, and especially underneath routes. That's what he's going to be great at. He's going to be your replacement in a lot of ways for Tyler Lockett, but while Tyler Lockett's still here. So you're not going to miss a beat if one guy's in or out of the offense. They're still going to be productive. And then the running game. I want to see the running game with Kenneth Walker improve along the way too. I think they have a little bit still to work on defensively, so I'm curious to see how they can ramp that back up again. But no, I like the Seahawks this year. I'm missing the 49ers, so obviously that's everyone's current favorite, I suppose, to win the NFC West. I'll say it right now, I'm not a big believer in it. And as much as I like Kyle Shanahan and I like what they do, and I think that defense is awesome. I'm happy they got Nick Bosa signed back up and all that. I mean, I think that what we saw last year, they're a limited team. I think they're limited in a lot of ways, and I think they're going to get by. They're going to win games because of the talent. They got Christian McCaffrey and You know, when Kittle's healthy, he's amazing. But I just think this is one of those teams that we saw Brock Purdy have an amazing playoff run last year. We saw him have an amazing end of the season run last year. I'm not going to say I'm not a believer in him, but I will say he's going to have some growing pains as teams have now got to spend an entire offseason reviewing his film. And when you have elite coaches in this league who know what the fuck to look for, he's going to be on the radar. Because if you take him down, make him to where he's nothing, you can now take down the 49ers and force them basically to, you know, put in somebody else. But, you know, your quarterback runs your offense. Basically, if you can find a way to just destroy all the things he was good at last year, which was ball protection, and as well as some intangible things he had, tangible traits he had down the road, you can take away those things. You can really make them struggle. And I think that the veteran leadership that the Seahawks have is what's going to take them to propel over the NFC West, but not by a lot. I think they win it by 1 or 2 games at the most. So I will take the Seahawks, but the 49ers probably still make the playoffs at the end of the day.
Who you got?
Good for you, man. I think you and I kind of agree on this. Bottom line, nobody gives a shit about the Rams in Arizona. I mean, that's going to be number 3 and number 4. So we don't give a shit about that. But I do agree with Mike. I do have the Seahawks winning this division. But I actually have the 49ers making it to the Super Bowl. That's another story. They've got the experience. They've got the roster. They don't really care.
49ers to the Super Bowl.
They don't really care if it's Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold. I can see a world where the Niners lose that fucking division and still make it to the Super Bowl. But like I said, the Niners, they've got an amazing roster right now, okay? And I do believe in Brock Purdy. Not going to win that fucking division. I believe in Pete Carroll. I believe in the fact that he's trying to rebuild that defense to be like the Legion of Boom. And I believe in Geno Smith. Like everybody thinks, well, that was kind of an anomaly last year. I don't believe that. I believe Geno Smith can do that again.
Well, I want to say
And
one
I
thing about
believe
Geno.
that he can do that at a higher level.
Geno could have been doing a lot of this all along if he'd started off with the right program and the right team.
Absolutely.
And been developed correctly instead of going to the fucking Jets from the get-go.
Well, and we've had this discussion over and over again. I don't know how many times we have this discussion on the show where teams can ruin players and teams can ruin careers. Andrew Luck had his career ruined by the Colts. Like there's no reason in hell why Andrew Luck should not be a 1-time Super Bowl champ, a 2-time Super Bowl champ right now. But the reason why that didn't happen, they ruined his fucking career. In much the same way that the Jets tried to ruin Geno Smith's career, but they were not successful. And that's one of the reasons why I think Geno Smith, this is not a prove-it year for Geno Smith. He's already proven that shit. I believe that he can take a step forward. Or if nothing else, do the exact same thing that he did last year, which was be an amazing fucking quarterback.
Just do the same thing he did a year ago. And that's honestly good enough.
Yeah,
in a lot of
absolutely.
ways.
I've got the Seahawks winning this fucking division.
What do you got, Tanner?
Right there with it. Clean sweep, guys. Don't forget what happened on defense here. Devin Witherspoon gets drafted. That's going to be a nice little addition there for that Seattle secondary to go along with Rick Wolin as well, and along with, Quandran Diggs. As soon as Jamal Adams ever gets healthy again, but they got Julian Love there too. I know, right? I tell you. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw former Chief Jaron Reed is back with his home team.
Oh, shit.
Back in his home system.
Back to the Seahawks.
Hey, why not come back around?
Hey,
We'll see what happens there.
He didn't do shit with the Chiefs, so I
He
mean,
didn't do
maybe
shit with Green Bay
find a way.
either,
Yeah.
so.
Maybe they can find a way to use him. I don't know.
But yeah, I saw the name and I had to click. I'm like, this is the same guy, right? Yep. He's back home, guys. Back home with the Seahawks. We'll see what happens there. The offensive line's going to get better. Yeah, Charles Cross, now into his second year, as well as Abraham Lucas on the right tackle as well. Another going to his second year. Evan Brown coming in the center from Detroit. Like, this team is built for success. I don't trust Brock Purdy being successful this early going into this year. I think they struggle early. I think they have a lot of issues they try to clean up early within San Francisco. Give me the Seahawks to win this division because they start out hot and they can coast kind of towards the rest.
That reminds me, I have them losing week 1 in Pittsburgh.
I do too.
I'll go ahead and say that.
I do too.
So, guys, there you have it. That's our division winners along the way. Go ahead and screenshot it. Go ahead and whatever, write it down, mark it down. I got mine
Save.
written down in front of me.
I got it. I got it saved on my computer,
Do
guys.
you but mine is mine on there too?
Everybody, JG's.
You know where I'm at.
By
Okay.
the way, just so you guys know, I'll give you the breakdowns here, right? So we have majority. I'll tell you the Sports Buffoons picks. Okay, Ravens, the Jags, the Jets, the Chiefs. This one, the NFC North is the one only toss up one between the Lions, Vikes, and the Bears. Then we got the Saints, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. So outside of the NFC North, we have majority at least on it. So
All right, real quick before Chiefs, who's your rookie of the year?
Zay Flowers.
What you got, Tanner?
I think I'm actually going to go defensive side of things here, and I'm going to go either Wilson or Will Anderson Jr.
I like it. I would love to see Will Anderson Jr. do that. I got myself Bijan Robinson because the volume. I see him getting a lot of touches. I mean, receiving, rushing. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, if the Falcons can win 7 games, it's going to be because of him.
I think on the Sports Buffoon show, I picked Addison, just because I think he gets a lot of targets there too. So
Was replacing
on the
Thielen.
offensive
He's replacing
side,
Thielen
on the
so.
offensive side of things.
So my thing with Zay Flowers is like, we talked about it earlier with the Ravens. Nobody can fucking stay healthy on that team, and that's why I'm thinking like Zay Flowers is going to be the only man left standing.
They want
on that
him
fucking
to
offense.
be what they thought Marquise Goodwin was going to be, or Marquise Brown. Excuse me,
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown. They
Yeah.
want Zay Flowers to be what Marquise Brown was supposed to be for that offense. And Zay Flowers is actually a better route runner
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. So, I
But
think that's
if you wake up one day and Rashad Bateman has an injured cock and OBJ has an injured cock and everybody else has an injured cock, you're left with Zay Flowers. They're going to force feed him.
So
all
yeah,
fucking
so we
day.
have Zay Flowers on DraftKings at plus 1,800. It is the best bet there. Bijan is plus 300 on FanDuel as the best bet. And then, of course, my pick with Will Anderson Jr. at plus 450, and that is on Caesar Sportsbooks as the best bet.
Alrighty. This one, guys, I don't have a pick for, but you guys have a head coach of the year.
Head coach of the year.
Head
Go ahead.
coach of the year. Do you guys have one?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not making a
Yeah,
pick on
no,
that.
it's going to be Sean Payton, no doubt.
Okay.
Because
Sean
if
Payton.
all you need to have happen is Brandon Staley shit the bed, right? Which
Well,
he's already proven that that's possible.
Or if they win 9 games, that's probably enough.
If Denver finds a way to come in second, which is not that difficult to do in that fucking division, that's your coach of the year, and like he's gonna be given the benefit of the doubt based on the fact that he's won a fucking Super Bowl before, and both those other coaches have proven that they've already, what we got? Josh McDaniels, Brandon Staley, they've already proven themselves to be shitballs. It's not that difficult,
Yeah, no, I agree. Do you have one, Tom?
Who the hell is the New Orleans guy? I can't remember his
Shit,
name.
Who the hell they put over there?
Literally, guys, with Sean Payton, like
Dennis Allen. Dennis
You're-
Allen is your coach of the year.
with Sean Payton, you're going up against the Super Bowl champion Andy Reid. All you got to do is go 10-7, right? You'll be coach of the year, no problem.
No.
Yes, you will.
No. That's no.
Fuck yeah, you will,
No,
dude.
you won't.
10-7,
Are you shitting me? You're not even making the damn playoffs.
dude.
for 10
The
and 7.
media
you will.
loves.
7?
No, they won't.
The
That's a
media
that's a-
loves.
No, it's
they
not anymore,
love
dude.
Sean Payton.
You know what the
dude.
AFC is like?
You know who they hate? They hate Josh McDaniels. They hate Brandon Staley. They hate those fucking bums.
You're not going after a
But they
guy.
love
No,
Sean Payton, dude.
You're not doing it.
They
All
love
right.
it. I'm
We're
telling
done
you.
talking about that shit. MVP. Who's your MVP? And then we'll move on.
That's a tough one. You know what? I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers because people have been talking so much shit over the past, I don't know, ever since he's been on that fucking team. The motherfucker's got 4 MVPs in his career, and he won 2 consecutive MVPs before the Packers turned into bullshit. And then everybody said, oh, this motherfucker's falling off a cliff. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers for MVP because it's the New York Football Jets, right? How long has that team been fucking shitty? If you can drag that fucking team out of nothing. Like you should be the favorite.
Last time they made the
MVP.
playoffs, it was the butt fumble guy, Mark Sanchez. So
Yeah.
Well, it had nothing
Yeah, I'm
to do
going with
Mark
Aaron
Sanchez.
Rodgers.
It's-
I'll take Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to win that fucking award.
Yeah, but here I'm going to take the discount double check Aaron Rodgers. Is what I'm taking. And so what I mean by that, I mean he's going back to his old fucking roots and just going to be lethal with the weapons they got right now. I'm excited to see what he can put up with that kind of a team, and especially a great defense behind him. Rodgers
weapons.
makes a lot of sense to me, and to take a team against a great division as well. And like I already told you guys, I have them winning the division. So to me, without a doubt, Rodgers on a 13-win Jets team.
You and I had the same answer for that fucking question. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I have a 13-win Jets
That's
team this
amazing.
year with Aaron Rodgers, an MVP.
I actually that was not what I prepped for. I was gonna say Patrick Mahomes, and then I pulled Aaron Rodgers out of my ass. I just like, no, that's who's gonna win.
Obviously, you guys, I feel obviously I'm never gonna discount Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is gonna do Patrick Mahomes things. But I feel like Rodgers in a new situation with the Jets and propelling such a shitty franchise for so long to becoming a, in my mind, 12-13 win team, in my hypothetical reason, that's going to be good enough to give him the MVP.
And he's one of the greatest throwers of
Who was-
football in the history.
Who
of
was
the
your
game.
rookie of the year again?
Zay Flowers.
Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Thanks.
Yeah, I took
Guys,
Bijan.
I got Mahomes. I got Mahomes. Plain and simple.
Okay.
You lose Juju. Kelsey is now injured to start the season.
Mm.
Storylines are there. Mahomes, if he can come out again, if he can get these 12 wins that you guys are talking about there, I mean, this is MVP caliber stuff by Mahomes. And you have Chris Jones possibly not to even start the season as well. That's Mahomes.
So my whole thing with Mahomes is, at what point does it become like Michael Jordan, where
It's not the NBA, dude.
We are.
It's not the NBA.
Th-
You
that's
gave Rodgers
not-
2
okay.
MVPs in a row.
Don't confuse what I'm talking
Hey, the
about.
NBA gives lots of guys 2 in a row
This has
all
nothing.
the time. All the time.
If Rodgers would have had Devontae, he would have 3 in a row.
Don't confuse this with the NBA, okay? This has nothing to do with that. At what point does Mahomes become like Jordan, where, okay,
don't.
buddy, we know you're the best player in the league. We already know you're probably the best player of all time. So we've got to give out the MVP to some other players.
You don't. It's the
Does
NFL.
that-
It's the NFL. You don't.
No, but does that not happen this year? They tried to do it. They would have done it last year
They
with
wanted
Jalen
to.
Hurts.
They wanted to.
If
but they
Jalen
didn't.
Hurts
But-
wouldn't have fucked his arm,
But
then they would have
now-
done it.
But you know why they did give it to Mahomes? It's because they saw what he did without Tyreek Hill, and they went, "Wow, that's why you are the true MVP."
No, that's
Five-
not true.
Yes,
that's not
5,000
true,
yards,
though.
over 40 touchdown
No.
passes. Without Tyreek Hill, you were the
Jalen
top
Hurts-
quarterback in the league, passer rating wise.
Jalen Hurts won that fucking award until
No.
he got hurt.
Who had
was
the
his
number one
fucking
red
The
zone
award.
offense?
reason
They
they gave it to
wanted to do
Mahomes
it
was
last
because of
year.
what he did without Tyreek Hill, and they saw
that-
that and they go, "Okay, you are the MVP," and that's
I'm
why.
telling you, man. These guys they're going to be begging to give it
Look,
to
Your
another player, because they already know who the best player in the league
your
is. They're
MVP
gonna give it to
odds
somebody
right now.
else.
Your top 5 MVP odds is Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, and Hurts at 600, 750, 850, 1200, and 1200. Aaron Rodgers is at 1600, tied along with Trevor Lawrence and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers all day long, man. That's what I'm saying. He's probably going to fucking retire after this year.
I doubt that.
If they win the Super Bowl, he's done.
He's having too much fucking fun, man. He's actually enjoying life for once. The Green Bay Packers were this toxic thing. They hung around his life like his little demon on his shoulder for years.
He's already said
He's actually having
basically.
fun.
He's already said that basically if they win it, then he's done. Like he's already said that.
He won't quit football yet.
Is
He loves it right now too much.
No, he's
No,
going to be.
what
the
I'm saying is
host.
he loves being a Jet too much.
He does.
But if
and
he wins,
not gonna quit.
if he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to be the host of Jeopardy. Everybody fucking knows it. You fucking know it. You just don't want to. You don't want to fucking admit it. But it's going to happen.
I love that.
All right, guys, we got a few minutes left at least. So let's dive into some Chiefs talk. Chiefs week 1, Detroit Lions tomorrow night. I know last year, you guys, I mean, it was such a great pump up. I mean, we started the show with, the old, little tomahawk chop chant and everything like that. I mean, it felt like a real Chiefs pregame feeling here on this show. For some reason, this year we've had a lot of distractions. We've had a lot of other things coming up along the way. We've had The Kelsey news, obviously, that came out yesterday about him having a hyperextended knee. Jason Kelsey talked about that and how he actually believes Kelsey could play in this game, as a matter of fact. And then obviously the Chris Jones saga that continues to go on. And then all the injuries we've had in training camp along the way that have been so annoying to deal with along the way. It's been these last 6 weeks have been super annoying and to deal with. And that's why I said earlier about, picking the Chiefs. I was wanting to talk about kind of the adversity. I sense this season being something where it's not going to be an easy slate all year long. We're going to deal with a lot of things that's going to have to make this season special for it to really make an impact on everybody and see what Patrick Mahomes can overcome. I've heard people in the past talk about he hasn't had to overcome too much adversity yet. Never had a road playoff.
He's never had a road playoff game.
And all this other bullshit. Well, obviously, the last time Patrick Mahomes didn't have Travis Kelce during COVID, he had 3 touchdown passes and 275 yards passing and destroyed the Steelers. But my point is, I think this is going to be a difficult season for us, you guys. I mean, whenever I give us 12-5, I mean, it's going to be a struggle to get that 12-5. I don't see it being an easy slate this year. But this game in particular, though, obviously with the Lions coming in, ready to fire off. Chris Jones is going to be missing, obviously. Travis Kelce, we're not sure yet. I'm going to assume if he does play, it's going to be in packages in the red zone, and that'll be it.
I got your injury report for you pulled up.
He's questionable.
Yeah, so he's questionable, right? But you have guys that are on the injury report that have full practice. Luckily, it's James, Snead, Tony, Wharton, Allegretti, Nick Jones, and BJ Thompson, all full practice on Wednesday. The only guy that didn't practice, of course, is Travis Kelce. So that's a good thing to see here for the Chiefs.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen L'Jarius Sneed been out now for many weeks here, and he's going to be a guy that's going to be extremely important for the defense.
First full practice of the week, too.
Yeah, I think he's ready to go.
I think so.
I think Kadarius Toney's ready to go. I saw some video practice reps of him moving around very, very well. Looks really smooth. I think he's ready to go. I think how the Chiefs are. Andy Reid likes to take things slow with guys that are coming off injuries and be precautious. It's going to be hard for them to keep a guy like Kelce out because we know Kelce has the same mindset as Patrick Mahomes when it's like, no, if I'm breathing, put me in. Like I can make it work somehow. He does it the exact same way as Mahomes does. They're both amazing competitors. And like I said, I think Kelce, I would not be surprised if he is active, but only going to be used in certain packages in red zone work or it's short area, not long, the other 20, between the 20s.
Correct.
I don't see that happening. But with that said, I mean, at this point, who's going to step up? I'm not talking about tight ends necessarily. Noah Gray is going to step in to be a starter possibly, but I'm talking about wide receiver. I mean, we have this amazing mixed bag of talent at wide receiver. We kept 7 guys this year on the roster. And I'll tell you what, I think all 7 guys could be active.
You're thinking they're going to be active?
All 7 on game day.
Man.
All 7 tomorrow. The one that might not be active, it would probably be Justin Watson, if I had to guess. But I think they see value.
I think Watson has to be active for them.
Possibly, but don't you look at a guy like Justin Ross and say he's got so much value as a red zone
I think you look at the connection with Mahomes and Watson, and you say, I can't give that up. I can't deactivate a guy like that. At least at the beginning of the first 3 weeks.
I mean,
you can't do it.
And you could be right. You could be right. I think that they could see a lot of value in keeping Justin Ross as an active part of this offense, at least for red zone work, in case it comes down to that. And Mahomes throwing a freaking fade route.
That's fair too, like in that play. And we don't have a third quarterback on the roster, obviously. So
my one surprise possible deactive, this would be kind of unfortunate, but I could see Rashee Rice being an unfortunate possible deactive on this game coming up. But with that said, I think it's a possibility we have all 7 out there active for this game.
I think so.
Somehow, because they're going to use on special teams as well. I mean, Justin Ross has been working on special teams. Rashee Rice has special teams work. Watson obviously has special teams work. And then the way we use all the different guys and the pieces on the field, Richie James obviously has a role in special teams as well as on the offense.
I mean, is it nuts to say if we keep all 7 guys active for the receivers that we have 2 backup linemen activated, and that's it?
Yeah, that's it. And that'd be it.
Yeah, Prince, Wanya, and Lucas would not be suited up for this game. I'm thinking it'd be Mike Caliendo and Nick Allegretti. Be your 2 guys.
Yeah, I don't know, but
maybe your 2 guys.
I would assume Lucas.
Because Allegretti's around,
So,
flexible.
You're going to need to have a tackle that's got some experience at tackle.
He's going to go with this guy, and that's Allegretti. And you keep
So
all
you don't
three
want
tight
Nick
ends.
Allegretti playing left or right tackle if it comes down to it.
Now, there is still a possibility, right? If Travis Kelce does get ruled inactive tomorrow morning or within that range, if they know he's going to be inactive, that we bring up Bushman.
Yeah.
Right? So then we would have a third guy there. Of course, we have three tight ends no matter what in this
Yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah. They'll definitely try to work on their 3 tight ends.
And we have 3 running backs on the roster. So you're having all 3 of those guys active.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Pacheco tomorrow, of course. But defensively, that's the main thing everyone wants to talk about. Because we're not as much worried about health issues regarding defense right now. We're more worried about, how do we adapt to the loss of Chris Jones and the interior. The good news is, you guys, we're playing a team that has a running attack of David Montgomery, who has been very mid. He's been very mid so far in his career as a Bear in the past. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, who is primarily going to be used in the receiving game, and as well as
he'll get his fair share of runs.
Outside run. He's going to get a few, without a doubt, of course. But you're not worried about Derrick Henry coming up the middle at you or anything like that.
That's true.
But the great news is for this team, you guys, is that the linebackers are amazing. I love the linebacker group we have. All of them do something special, and all of them do something differently too. Because we've seen now Leo Chenal being used in packages as an outside edge rusher, and I'm curious to see how they're going to use him mixed in with Drew Tranquill at certain times. And Drew Tranquill is going to be one of those guys that you're going to rely on in the passing game, and has just been elite in the past when it comes to making plays, just in defensively, stopping tight ends, covering tight ends at times. And of course, you got your main 2, Willie Gay and Nick Bolton. So, when it comes down to matchups for this, to me, I'm without a doubt, it's going to be difficult. I could see the pass rush being a problem up the middle. Tershawn Wharton is ready to go in this game, but Tershawn Wharton's not Chris Jones, and Derek Notties is not Chris Jones.
Neil Farrell.
You're going to
Keandre
need
Corbin.
Guys like George Karlaftis, Felix Anudike Uzama to step up, because you're missing your 2 top defensive linemen right now on this roster. So those are going to be the guys that need to make plays, and going to go a lot of work.
I think we're
a lot of snaps.
I think we might see a lot of Chamari Connor on the rush. We'll see Snead, of course, along with it too. So I mean, that's a couple of guys we have to. We'll be seeing probably a lot.
This is going to be a Steve Spagnuolo game.
It's
going to be, how do you hide the weakness, which is the obvious thing. So Steve Spagnuolo, obviously, we as a coordinator, we own. He's very flexible. A lot of different blitz packages. How do you now hide the weakness on this defense by coming up with certain packages that are going to surprise the offense?
Well, if there's anybody that's willing to experiment on a championship roster team, it is Spags this early, like week 1. He's willing to experiment. So,
and I think he's putting a lot of work on it too in the offseason, knowing this could happen. So I'm looking forward to it. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on the game tomorrow night?
Well, I think in terms of the defense, it's like we all know that this is going to be an offensive game, right? Nobody truly believes in the Detroit defense, and nobody's really scared of the Chiefs defense, without Chris Jones. And so I think it's going to be a high scoring game, right? And I was pleased with the fact that, we're going to see Kadarius Toney in this game. We're going to see Richie James. Those were my 2 biggest concerns, is that we might not see those 2 guys along with Travis Kelce being out of the game. That would have been a problem for me. But if the only guys that we're missing are Chris Jones and Travis Kelce, I mean, it's, a lot of people think that, it's got trap game written all over it, and it does. It's got trap game written all over it for the Lions, because they're looking at this shit, seeing that, they don't have their best weapon, number 1 weapon on offense. They don't have their number 1 weapon on defense. So we're just going to fucking destroy these guys. And that's why I'm looking at that line at -4.5. And, it's like,
see, I took it at -6.
The public, I'm telling you right now.
But that was 2 days before Travis Kelce got
I'm not going to tell you my pick right now, but I'm just saying the public is coming in on this shit and saying, okay, Detroit is going to have their way with the Chiefs. And I'm not so sure about that, because it might be kind of an overreaction, because the Chiefs offense, while a lot of people would like to pretend that it can't operate without Travis Kelce, I'm pretty sure we can operate pretty well without him. The worst thing that could happen for the Lions is if the Chiefs hold Kelsey out of this game. If Kelsey comes in and says, I'm ready to play, and Andy Reid says, no, I'm not going to allow you to play. Can you imagine how that fucking team is going to rally around him and be pissed on the fact that he's not going to fucking play in this game? Can you imagine how motivated they're going to fucking be if Kelsey is not allowed to play in this fucking game?
Opportunities, right?
I mean, it just, for me, I feel sorry for the Lions. I really do, because I do feel it has a chance to be competitive. But, you know, Andy Reid after a bye week, Andy Reid after however many fucking weeks he's had to prepare for this game.
I believe as a
forever.
Chiefs
I mean,
head coach
shit.
now, this is his 10th season. It started in 2013. It's now 2023.
Correct.
So I don't know, maybe 11. I think we've only had one opening day loss.
Yeah. And
with
you
Andy
can
Reid.
always have an anomaly, but I'm just saying, like, the way this thing is playing out, you know, I feel sorry for those people that are going to put their money on the Detroit Lions in this game, because
2014.
it's
Tennessee.
yeah, I think, you know, it's just not going to happen, man. Like, I think the Chiefs have this thing wrapped up. I'll give you my picks in terms of the line a little bit later, but for me, it's going to help the Chiefs, not hurt the Chiefs, on the fact that Kelsey and Chris Jones do not play in this game.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you guys a little insight. I mean, this is an easy little parlay I threw together. So this was a $100 wager, payout $530. So I made some adjustments along the way when I was over there. So I took the over 44 points total. So obviously I did an alternate, took the Chiefs minus 2.5, took that alternate on that. But then I took Jahmyr Gibbs over 20 yards receiving. And I see Jahmyr Gibbs being probably a focal point of their offense in a lot of ways, especially in the short yardage situations. Whenever, you know, you're trying to basically use a check down option, they want to kind of showcase their rookie. They spent a high draft pick on him for a reason. So he's going to get some playing time. They're going to use him as a slot running back / receiver at the same time, while David Montgomery's part of the game as well. I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw the Saints do with Reggie Bush back in 2006. Reggie Bush had 100 catches that year. And I think we could see Jahmyr Gibbs be used in that same kind of fashion as kind of a slot receiver / also running back part-time in certain situations. And I think that's what they kind of foresee him being, is that kind of a weapon. After that, though, I did take Patrick Mahomes over 16.5 rushing yards. And the reason I did that was because I'm assuming Travis Kelce doesn't play in this game. And normally when we're in a situation where his top target has been removed from the game, I tend to see Patrick Mahomes use his legs a little bit more to at least buy time for other options, you know, along the route to get open, or just to run in general. I mean, if your top target's gone for this game, Noah Gray's not going to get it open the same way Travis Kelce does. So to me, we're going to see a little bit more of Patrick Mahomes using his legs in this game compared to maybe what we saw at the back end of last year as the year winded down. And then the last thing I got in here, Isaiah Pacheco over 29.5 rushing yards, because as I said, if we're not going to have Travis Kelce on the field, and I'm assuming we're not going to have him at least out there full time, guys, Pacheco, he's ready to roll.
He's going to blow
I mean,
He's gonna
Isaiah
go.
Pacheco
He'll fucking
is a monster,
He
and
looks good too.
I mean, Isaiah Pacheco is now going into year 2 in this with this offensive line, this system. I think he is just ready to rock and roll, because that guy's a badass running back, and we're gonna be running the ball a little bit, and I can't wait to see how that unfolds, because it's one of those things. We're gonna dial up certain play calls that are just gonna be unstoppable in the run game.
Mhm.
And it's just going to all come from Andy Reid's mind. I mean, it's just going to be dialing up the things that work, that he knows works in the past. And Pacheco is one of the running backs that never stops, never winds down. He's the ultimate energizer bunny.
If you guys are looking for another line player prop for this game as well, Sam Laporta, 3.5 receptions. Take the over in that one. If you, as you guys know, on teams, our tight ends on the other teams like to take over our linebackers.
I mean,
Our
Mr. Laporta, is he the full-time
dude? He's the
tight end
full-time
starter?
guy. Yeah,
He sucks.
full-time guy. He's gonna be good this year.
He's a rookie. I want to see what he's got.
I'm excited for him. I think he's gonna get targeted with someone with hawk numbers, so 4, 5, 6 targets at him this game. And we all know our linebacker core. Love him as a run defender. Love him as, you know, kind of in front, but you get on the top of him, sometimes you get exposed a little bit. So I like Laporta over 3.5 receptions.
I'll tell you what, my only regret on your plus 450 bet there is the fact that you didn't put $1,000 down instead of 100. That's my only regret, because I looked at that shit and I was like, man, this guy over here, he knows what the fuck is going to happen. But you didn't put enough money out there. I was pissed.
It looks good, but we save that for the easy money picks, and that's where you want to put.
That's true. All right,
you put $1,000 on all of our easy money picks, and that's where we spend all of our money.
We're gonna give you guys the real shit coming up right now.
Yeah.
Are we ready for that, guys?
Well, he said right now. So
first of the season. Wait, we didn't give our score predictions, did we?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it real quick, guys. Chiefs, Lions score predictions. What you got, JG?
I got 34-24 Chiefs. They're going to win by 10.
Okay. Very, very nice. I like that one. I said a crazy number earlier to you when we were out, but I don't really mean it. I think I will
65-45.
No, I do like the 34, but I'm going to go 34-20.
Okay.
So Chiefs by 14.
Shit balls. There we go.
Damn.
Coming out hot.
I'm taking that -6.5 spread because I need that win, but we're gonna go ahead and go 42-30. What is that? 35, 30. No,
Was this a
35.
college game?
Well, remember Goff last time he was with the Rams with the high-powered offense.
Oh my God.
50 plus, 50 point game.
That's not.
Let's go at it again, baby.
Do you think this defense is as bad as 2018's was?
No, I don't think so.
That's not going to happen.
42-35.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. Hit the over, by the way, in case you're not hitting the over yet. So hit the over, 53.5.
Yeah, you should hit the over, I believe. But Jesus, that number you just said is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I could see like 42-28. That makes more sense to me. But.
Let's go. Chiefs week 1. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it here.
What?
We're gonna hit the over. No matter what, guys. Hey, what's the over under right now? That's what
53.5. 53.5.
Hey, it was 52.5 when I was
53.5.
So they moved it back up again.
Yeah, they moved it back.
I got a badass number at 44.
So just can we just go all in?
What was your score?
Can we go all in right now?
34-20.
34-20 Chiefs.
Tanner thinks there's gonna be literally no defense.
I'm 34-24
Chiefs.
He thinks there's gonna be zero defense in this whole game.
42-35.
Well,
Chiefs.
The I'm trying to make people money. Should we not bet the over right now?
You're betting the over.
Tanner,
yes.
we had Bob Sutton as defensive coordinator back then.
Calm down. Just let me pick my pick.
I'm just letting you know your pick is stupid.
I don't care what you think. When it's 42-35, come call on to me, okay?
Like literally, if your bankroll is 10 grand, can we not put 5 grand on the over in this fucking game? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have over 44.
I got over.
That's all I need.
I got over 53.5.
Yeah.
53.
But you guys get your crazy numbers.
I think the consensus is the over in this fucking game. No matter what you think the score is going to be. I mean, we all think the Chiefs are going to win, and that's great. That's probably going to happen. But you might want to hammer that over more than you believe in.
Guys, I got this all set in a spreadsheet, so we're good there.
I will say this: I do believe in the over more than I believe in the Chiefs to win this game. I'll say that right now. I put more money on that shit.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do it. Our last segment of the day, and back to something we haven't done quite a while, as a matter of fact. But JG, I gotta let you kick it off for us.
The bath towels.
Not the bath towels. Not the bath towels. We gotta do. Do I gotta do it for him?
Oh, the easy money bet of the week.
That's not how you do it. God damn it! All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
What do you mean? Like, you just tell me. Like, you want to talk about bath towels? You want to talk about something? Else?
Is this a different person that we knew a year and a half ago or something? Like, and now, the final segment of the day. We're here for your easy money bet of the week.
I've never said that on the show. I don't know where you came up with that.
I had to make up my own weird sigh at the end for just to give some little extra umph on it.
That's fine.
Does he not remember doing?
He doesn't remember.
I don't remember that shit.
Easy money bet of the week.
No, they made it up. Anyway, just okay. So I'm gonna give you one right now. So give me the Chiefs to cover at -4.5. We just talked about that. It's gonna be an utter destruction in that fucking game. So -4.5. I will take the Chiefs to cover that. I am also going to take the Browns to cover against the Bengals because the Browns are 4-1. We just talked about that in their last 5 games against the Bengals. So it has nothing to do, guys, with what we were talking about. I still believe in the Bengals
What's
to
the
fucking
spread?
destroy that fucking division. This first game does not matter. It's -2.5.
So somehow the Browns cover that and don't win.
Well, no, I'm going to bet them to cover. They're probably going to win the game.
The Browns.
Okay, because Joe Burrow is not 100%, but Joe Burrow doesn't care about the first game, and nobody cares about the first fucking game. They only care about the final outcome, which is what are we going to do? What's the fucking fucking final record? What are we going to
You
do in
mean
the playoffs?
+2.5?
It's
plus. Browns +2.5.
yeah. The Browns are +2.5.
Yeah.
Bengals
Yes.
are favored by 2.
Bengals are favored -2.5. So I'm taking the Browns, who are
Cover.
4-1. Last 5 games against the Bengals. It's not that difficult, Tanner. Pull your head out of your ass.
You said -2.5, which I was going with what you said.
All right, whatever.
Get it good to quick. Hey, you can get Cleveland +2.5 on all sports books at -110.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Mine is, you guys know how much I cannot stand the Colts right now.
Easy money bet of the week.
Yeah. And we
Which
have,
I've never said before. In my
for
whole
me,
fucking life. Unbelievable.
we have the
These
Jacksonville
motherfuckers.
Jaguars are -5 right now
Actually,
against the Colts.
-4.5 at points
Hey.
bet.
Fine. Take the 4.5 if you can. The points bet, get that 4.5. I still would have taken them at 5 regardless because I see the Colts going, or the Jaguars going out there, taking it to them. It's Anthony Richardson's first game as a pro, obviously, with a real abysmal team around him. It's
Abysmal.
not going to be pretty, and he's going to make a lot of mistakes. Yes. Will his athleticism be a surprise to the NFL? Of course, he's going to have some runs here and there that look amazing.
Abysmal.
But at the end of the day, the Trevor Lawrence of the world and Calvin Ridley's and all them are going to be shredding that shitty defense they have over there in Indianapolis. So without a doubt, to me, I got the Jaguars probably winning this game by 2 touchdowns, actually. But the line is -5. Give me that -5 or -4.5 all day.
And that's your one?
That's my pick. That's my one easy
Okay.
pick. Easy bet of the week.
Making sure we were doing it again.
These
So-
guys are drunk as fuck.
I'm doing 1 pick and 1 guarantee. Guys,
Easy money bet of the week.
last year when we did these picks, what was my record?
Yeah, I know.
Pretty fucking good, wasn't it?
That was
One
2 years
pick.
ago.
Thank you. Well, yes,
No,
I
you
put all my
sucked.
heart and soul into 1 pick, Tanner.
No,
I'm
that
not going to
was
sit there, spread my seed all over college football and these random ass picks. I want to care about the people. When they spend their $1,000 on this pick, I'm going to have it from the heart. Not some random ass shit from Rutgers. I don't give a shit.
He's a lying sack of shit. That was 2 years ago. You sucked ass last year. That was 2 years ago. where you had
No,
a good
he did
record.
good last year.
Guys,
He did good last year.
you were awful last year.
I'm not saying.
He has the
Somebody-
records written down somewhere.
Somebody ate a dick on this show.
You've had a few with your Justin Tucker takes.
Bench him. Guys, I got so our first one here is gonna be Philadelphia, New England, under 45 on this one here. I think if you look at the trend for the last few years, with it here, it's been under every time for the points total, a head to head. So 2021 is under, 17's under. This is gonna be an under trend because Belichick knows how to do week 1 correctly. So give me the under at 45 of Philadelphia, New England. Next up, we have a player prop here for you as well. We're going to go Herbert over the 8.5 reception yards at -110. Obviously, going against the Packers, Fields is going to dump it down in the backfield here, of course, and just outside the backfield, Herbert will get plenty of opportunity, plenty of snaps this game. Look at Herbert over 8.5 reception yards at -110. We look here again. College ball, guys, is back here in case you aren't aware, and we got to get this straight up here. Give me Utah to cover the -7.5 at -110 against Baylor, who got rocked by a nobody team last week. Give me Utah -7.5 on the road to Baylor for our college pick of the game.
I
And
was just getting ready to say before you started that shit. I was getting ready to say, thank God he's not talking about college football.
you know
because
it's
he will
involved.
clean out He will clean out your
If-
bank
if-
account.
No. Don't you
Clean
say
it out. Clean it out.
It's,
His college football takes suck ass.
it's the easy money bet for your favorite sports book.
Stop talking about
Don't
college
hate on me.
football.
You're
It's a good
He
way for
fucking
DraftKings to
sucks.
take your money from you.
your DFS guy of the week, your money
Stick with the
savings guy of
first
the
two.
week is wide receiver Jahan Dotson.
Oh shit!
$6,100 going against
Jahan?
Arizona.
Did you just call him Jahan?
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan?
What the fuck is going on right now?
If you don't,
Stick with those first.
do you
two.
not know who I am yet? I make fun of names. All right.
Thank God you
Jahan
stopped
Dotson.
talking
Don't you know
about
about
college football.
6,100.
You suck.
Remember
6,100.
Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Giannis.
Giannis. Tanner used to
Jahan.
call him Giannis.
I do like,
Giannis.
I'm going to be
Giannis.
honest. I do like the way that sounds. Jahan Dotson. I think he should probably change his name
Jahan.
to that. Can you get a hold of him on
Jahan.
Twitter? Get a hold of his ex
Do you not
account.
know what I say names on? I say everything wrong. Quesadilla,
Well,
No.
It's Joey
Buffet.
Mixon.
Joey
Is his
Mixon.
favorite one.
Joey Mixon.
You need to hit him up on the DM.
look. Jahan
for
Dotson.
Jahan Dotson. That
Shut
sounds
up
amazing.
already. Jesus.
No,
Lord.
I'm agreeing with
Shut
you.
up.
It sounds great.
Jahan
I like
Dotson.
it.
Johan Dotson. Whatever you want to call him. I call him
Johan?
Jahan Dotson. because
Johan
it's fun.
Dotson.
Johan. That's a good one, actually. Johan Dotson.
No.
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan.
6,100 on FanDuel currently for your DFS. That's a great little steal there to put in your lineup for your DFS. Go capitalize on a couple more big receivers and a running back there as well. So that's my picks, guys.
His college football takes suck. and
You're
he
gonna
will
tell me?
always
Wait.
lose.
You guys are telling me Utah's not going to cover the 7.5 against Baylor, who lost them? What?
Tanner,
Mass State?
we're not talking college with you.
You just
We're
bet.
not doing.
Well, you can't say shit then.
no,
I
we
I don't wanna hear
know what
nothing.
happened last year, and you cost a lot of people
Okay.
money.
No.
I can
Yeah,
actually.
you did.
I'm going for the easy money bet. You told me go for the easy
You
You
told
money
me
got
bet.
lost
your
that
mouth.
sponsorship with your college
Okay.
bets.
No, it wasn't.
You can actually shut your
Was
mouth
not.
because a guy that knows nothing about college football just beat your
You
ass.
got your ass
When
lucky
FSU
in a third
leveled,
quarter.
leveled fucking.
You didn't even know what you
LSU.
were doing.
Exactly, and I still beat your
You
ass.
asked me, should I go FSU? I go,
You
yeah.
bet on you bet
I
on
said
LSU.
that, and you went.
You got your ass cleaned out, and you wouldn't shut the fuck up, which is what you should do right
I
now.
had a winning weekend.
I'm trying to help the betters.
You're
win
not helping
NFL
anything.
games.
Utah's going to cover Baylor.
Okay, stick with the NFL games, guys.
No,
Don't listen
Utah's
to this
going to
college
cover
football
Baylor at
bullshit.
minus 7.5. You can
Alright.
get that
We're-
at BetMGM at minus 110.
We're
He
at
is
we're at the
not-
2-hour mark. All right,
Are
guys.
you shitting me?
No,
He is
no.
not
Stop the
college football
shitting.
expert. Fuck.
Stop it all. We're at the 2-hour mark.
I'm putting it all
Say your
in.
final piece before we get off here because it's been a 2-hour show. I know we probably owed you guys
Yes.
one. So
My final piece, guys, is please, for the life of
Go ahead.
Pete,
When it's a win, we'll talk about it
for the
later.
life of Pete, don't clean out your bank accounts by listening to his college football
I
takes.
was trying to get you off that topic. Is that your final thing to say today?
Yes.
Okay. Tanner, what's your one thing to say?
Don't listen to Jason because he went 2-10 his first freaking 2 weeks. Don't listen to Jason on his bets either. Suck it.
All right. All I want to say is I'll be at Austin's on College Boulevard, you guys. If you guys want to come hang out, come say hi and all that kind of stuff, then I'll be there watching the game tomorrow night. So that is my plan for the game. Probably not going out as much this year to watch games. I've got other plans going on, stuff going on in general. So, but yeah, week one, I mean, obviously opening night, I'm excited. I'm gonna be there really early, just to kind of settle in for a bit and just get pumped up for the game. And I'll be, hopefully ignoring anything that says the words Chris Jones along with it because I'm tired of saying his name out loud. I'm tired of thinking about his name. I have a headache from dealing with all of the last 4 or 5 weeks of hearing about Chris Jones. So I'll be focused on the guys that are playing on the field. That's my whole plan. Yeah. With that said, hope you all have an awesome time. And let's go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Let's get this thing going. Hey, by the way, Rot Chalk, it's Friday night. Let's go.
Why do you got to ruin the go
Yeah,
to? Jesus. I'm
Raj-
walking off the step.
Deion Sanders.
Wait.
Deion Sanders. It's the only thing
No.
you need to know about.
Don't ever talk about the Jayhawks while I'm talking.